And we are live.
We're
Hi.
live.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you guys are in the world. We are the Melanated Council.
Council.
Woo!
This thing.
Um, so today, unfortunately, Ron won't be able to join us. However, you still got Elle and the lovable Toby.
Hey,
Yeah. Um,
the illustrious. I can't do the introduction as well as
yeah.
Ron, but the illustrious L.
Yeah, the illustrious. I know he gives me like the best. He gives us the best intros. I'm like, oh my goodness. But the remarkable Ron,
Ah,
unfortunately, is won't be able to join us tonight. However, you guys have us, which is kind of okay.
it's great. It
But
is great.
yes, of course, like, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Um, and also, it is Women's History Month.
Boom.
So it is kind of cool that I am hosting on the first day of Women's History Month. So yeah. So as we normally start, like, how was your weekend, Toby?
Yeah, so it went by so quickly. I feel like that ends up being a trend. Hey, Liz.
Hey.
Um, yeah, so dramatic pause.
Uh, I
Ron
know.
definitely has that way of like storytelling for
Yeah,
sure.
it's my first. It's my first time, Chad. So I'm a little nervous.
um, but my weekend was chill. I'll have to pick that up later. My weekend was fine. So, I basically, I think there was like one random thing I went to on Saturday night, in Providence, Rhode Island, which I've not really been to many times. I've been once,
Okay.
beginning of February for a concert, like an Afrobeats Nigerian artist. But I went Saturday for like there was like a Black History like show that happened in this university in South Massachusetts. I didn't go to that, but they had like an after party in Providence, which is like 20 minutes from the
Hmm.
university. So a friend of mine, two friends of mine who were alumni were there, which was really cool. They're both Black. Actually funny, both of them I feel like were Caribbean or Caribbean American.
Hey.
I know, right? One guy was like Haitian and Ruben, the girl was Haitian, and I knew another girl who was also Haitian who just graduated from that university too a year ago. So it was just like, okay, let me come out. She wasn't there, but I figured let me come out to support UMass Dartmouth. That's the name of the school. And they're like Black History, whatever. And then on Sunday was just chill. I think I stayed home most of the day, and then I ended up going out at night. But Friday, I just chilled with some friends of mine. So I feel like it was mostly just chill. Like I don't think I did anything super crazy. Um, oh, I did go out to like a bar. I mean that's
Oh,
not like a super crazy thing. Like it's like a lounge.
I mean, in COVID times, it's still super crazy.
Well, I guess it's risky, definitely
Yeah,
risky. But it was just cool because a friend hit me up.
right.
Like we became friends like not that long ago, like maybe a little over a month ago. So it was like our first time just like hanging out, just chilling. So
Right.
um it was nice, just cool conversation.
How did
Um
you two meet?
so I have another friend of mine, a good friend of mine. I haven't seen her as much, but a good friend of mine who um we went to the same like bar type area. It's like a tavern technically. And so when we left, she was like, "Hey, there's two friends. Well, one friend of hers especially, but two people that she knew. So this one girl. I mean, that's how basically we met. Like I had gotten the one person's contact. We kept in touch. But we hadn't seen each other since then. So it was like, hey, what's up? It's been forever. By forever, like a month. But I don't know, time kind of like is weirdly warped, I feel like, with everything going on.
Mhm.
So that was cool. And I was trying to plan what I wanted to do for my birthday. So I was looking at some things, looking at like things for the week and this upcoming weekend so I could figure out what's going on for my birthday. Even though I do feel like I just started coming down with the cold like
Mm.
today. Like last night I didn't know, even this morning, but then as the day went on, I was like, oh crap, here it is. So what a great gift just in time for my birthday. But I'm gonna see hopefully it just passes quickly. And then because I do have plans for the weekend,
Okay.
not explicitly for my birthday, but just cool things that are happening. There's like an R&B show on Saturday. There's some other stuff.
Nice.
The long story short, I was trying to like get together some of that and like figure my schedule out. I want to like keep my friends in the loop who want to actually go out with me, but I haven't like formally planned a birthday dinner or like my own gathering because it's just so much effort. Um, and like I know you hosted like a Halloween thing. I hosted a Halloween thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it comes to like hosting something, you really have to be intentional, like who you let in your space and like how do you manage everything. And I didn't really want to deal with all that. Also, because my apartment, I'm sure would not tolerate. I've already, I've already had run into some little issues with my property management, and I'm not trying to like give them the final straw. So if I do something, I'm not going to host it here. But anyways, that's me. When Toby goes to the bar, becomes a lounge.
I know.
Oh, I love it.
You're just that cool. Hey, Rocky.
Thank you, Liz. I hope so too.
Hey.
Sup.
Yeah. All right. I know your birthday is very soon, like in a couple of days, if not one, like 1 or 2 days, right? If you're comfortable
In a
sharing.
couple of hours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, yeah, but last month, I can't speak. Last year, my birthday was actually on Tuesday. I remember because I like took a shot of Henny live. So my birthday was actually on the stream. I don't remember what the topic was, but yeah, just so I did take a shot of Henny near the end of the stream. And I remember I was so confident. I was like, Chaser, we don't need no stinking. And then as soon as I said that, I just like the because it was Henny, so the Henny cough got me. This time,
You
it
gotta
will be
chase
after hours, but I'm not gonna do a shot of Henny or anything like that because I'm also sick. The whiskey will help you a little bit. I have a little whiskey, swirl it around in glass, or
it's just swirling by itself.
in ice. I swirl it around in a glass of ice.
That's how cool this. Okay, Toby.
What I actually what it's better really is to do the hot toddy and tea, which is not what I have here. I have different tea. I have like ginger, hibiscus, type stuff. But
Ooh, those are like two of my favorite things: ginger and hibiscus.
oh, awesome! Oh,
Yeah.
so you must be a fan of sorrel.
Sorrel.
Sorrel. Wait, say it again. Am I wrong?
I feel like I have to say with like a bit of an accent. Sorrel.
Oh, sorrel. Okay.
Sorrel.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. I love sorrel. Sorrel.
Yeah, sorrel. You want to be American with it, sorrel. Yeah, no, I love sorrel too. It's yeah. I think that's probably why I really like hibiscus teas, because it just kind of it just has like that flowery sweet taste, you know.
Yeah, very earthy. I like it.
Oh, it's gonna be Toby's birthday in a couple of hours.
Yes, in like 2.5 hours Eastern time.
Yeah. But who's counting?
Who's counting?
So, do you have any plans for like the day?
Nah, especially now if I'm gonna not feel super great because it sucks too because I have every Wednesday it's like I have early meetings. Okay, 9 a.m. is not that early, but for like a real like to have like an actual meeting that's not just like a 10-15 minute stand up, that's kind of early. So I have a 9 a.m. standing meeting with like my project leader every Wednesday.
Gotcha,
And I'm like, oh God. So now I'm like, I have to start my day with that. And it's not like bad. I have a good relationship with him, but it's still just like whatever. And then the day is not going to end either till like after 5 because there's a new standing meeting that we've been doing every day for the past week or two. Not him, but like a different team that I'm on. That's like a closer team, and that's like 4:30 to 5:15. Which sometimes when you get to that point of the day, you just do not want to be at these meetings. So I'm like, oh my God, the whole day because I wasn't gonna take off. I was like, I'm not gonna. I want to save my PTO for something like bigger.
Gotcha.
So the actual day itself, I'm gonna have to power through the day, and then figure out what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know if I want to like take myself out somewhere. Like today, I went to IHOP for Pancake Day, which
Today
I
was
got.
Pancake Day?
Apparently, I didn't know either. I got an email from
Oh.
IHOP that it was National Pancake Day or something, International Pancake Day, and then I was like, okay. So I took myself out like in the afternoon, but I also will get a birthday discount. So low key, high key. I've been
Mid-key?
like, you better take. I can't do that. Like that would be cool, but I can't. I really can't. Um, what's up? What's up?
Hey, hey.
I'm just gonna figure it out. Oh yeah, I've been signing up for like birthday freebies. I started doing that in like 2020 mostly, because I looked up like what restaurants have birthday stuff, and then I found out you had to already be on like a subscriber list for a lot of them.
I know that Firehouse Subs, at least
Oh,
back in my day, Firehouse Subs, you didn't have to be on like a mailing list. You just have to show them your ID.
oh, okay. Yeah, Firehouse Subs, which I never heard of, to be honest. I just found a few days ago because of this website that was like 100. I posted on my Instagram story. I was like 161. One was like one of them was like
Oh, that's what that was. I didn't understand the 160. I was like, does he want me to sign up for something? I was like, I'll talk to him later. Like, I was like, what kind of gift does he want? He wants 161 gifts?
oh
Jesus.
no 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 no. It was more just like yeah, because I think it didn't show the whole name of the link on Instagram, but it was like yeah, 101 versus 161. Basically restaurants or like clothing stores, furniture stores, anything that basically give you good freebies. And I've already been signed up for like a year now for a bunch of them, but
Mhm.
like I've been signing up for other things. I'm like, you know what? Express, Forever 21. I think I just did H&M. Forever 21 is probably next on the list. If I can find a furniture store, I'm gonna find a furniture store before the stream is over, and I'm gonna sign up because I need new furniture.
Ah,
Um, Big
no.
Lots would be cool, or Bob's Discount or something. Anyway, I'm not going to take too much more time on it, but thank you all for the wishes, early wishes.
Mhm. No, I hear you about the signing up for a furniture store though. Like, I've had my second bedroom empty since, like September. And I'm like, all right, awesome. Well, I have like my desk in there for like when I work, but I have no lights in there. So if I were to stream in there, it would just be pitch black.
Oh shoot!
And so it's like, okay, I need to buy like lighting, but I can't just buy like any old lighting. You have to get something nice. And then I also have to put like furniture so it's not all echoey and empty and sad sounding in there. So I'm like, I just been kind of, just streaming here since then. But I hear you about furniture. Furniture is everything's expensive. Anything that's house related is just expensive for no reason. Like, like no matter where you go and like what time of the year, it's hard, and everything's just going up in price.
Yeah, I know it's like you need to live, you need to be comfortable. Bankruptcy. Now
Exactly.
we're gonna drain your pockets. Like oh my god, like
Wow.
it's crazy, yo.
You
So
might get like 10% off, like lamps, lampshades for like a furniture store. It's like if you sign up for our mailing list, you get 10% off. Like
people love their
they'll be
10% off.
like, I don't know, like table decor. They'll probably say.
Yeah, people love their 10%, 20% if you're lucky.
Oh, geez, that's like impossible. 20%. That's like either you're brand new or you're just a sketch. Yeah.
Actually, Burlington Coat Factory did have a 20% off. Or no, I think it was a $20 off, $100 or more purchase, which still is
Okay.
pretty good if you get something there $100.
Right. Express does that all the time. I get like their text messages. Like it'll be like
Yes.
$30 off $100 purchase, which is good.
Yeah.
They do have like some really great sales, like for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's true. I am trying to I sort of build a streaming studio, just build something that's like decent looking because it's still a second bedroom, and I do want it to, be like a guest bedroom, but I want it to be like, like cute enough for, like to have like a nice background and everything, but uncomfortable enough so people don't think they can just kind of move in. It's like, yeah, you're just gonna crash for a night. Don't have any like sort of ideas of staying because I can't right now.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
It's like, no, I'm gonna. He's like, yeah, this is a futon, but this is, it's not gonna make you feel good. I was trying to find like some sort of fun. I was like, make
Some
you
people
feel
don't
like
care
a futon or something.
though.
A futon.
Actually, though, to Rocky's point, I haven't been to a thrift store in a while, but I did go Goodwill shopping in undergrad. I got a nice like pair of khakis that I could wear to like not semi formal because that actually is more formal than what it means, but to like a somewhat formal event that's like business casual. And I also got like I think I went to Salvation Army, which was my big thing growing up. But I went in grad school, so like 2018, and I actually got some pretty nice things there. I got some long sleeve shirts that I can still wear to this day. I might have even gotten a pair of shoes. No, my shoes, I don't know. But like, I was like, dang, I should go to the thrift store more because there's like good stuff that like, okay, it might not be the most stylish, crazy thing, but very functional. Gets the
Right.
job done. I haven't looked for like anything furniture related. Like if there's something furniture related, it's probably gonna be like a lamp, like something small, like a little tiny, like old school antique lamp, maybe, or
Well, maybe
maybe one of those little stands.
like if you were to go to a thrift store, maybe like in like a rich part of town, like they might have better things. Because I actually donated a piece of furniture recently, like because I was like, I don't know how to like like I could sell I could sell it, but like everybody on like Facebook Marketplace looked really sketch, had like 17 friends. I was like, oh, I don't trust you. And like, I mean, it was pretty much like a solid wood desk. Like it was given to me by my uncle, but it just didn't feel like me. And I had it for years, and it was just like, yeah, I can't. Like this doesn't. I can't utilize this. Like this isn't modern. This isn't like what I'm trying to go for. And I kind of just was like in like a purge mood where I just need to get rid of like everything and just put things that just are like of me. Even like this wine cabinet that's new. I had something else before. If you were to go through like some previous streams, it was like brown, and there was nothing wrong with it, but like against like this red wall, it just looked terrible, and it was given to me too, and I'm like, this isn't really my style anyway. So it's actually in my second bedroom now because I just needed something that had storage, and I like it, but it doesn't need to be, like in the center of the house. So, but yeah, like so there might be some hidden gems in thrift store shops. Actually, that's actually a great idea, Rocky. I should definitely check that out for some furniture because they might have some stuff, like maybe like cool bookshelves or like, yeah.
Who knows I need a bookshelf because right now my books are just God knows where. Like I know where they are, but they're just. I really should have like a proper shelf.
True, and bookshelves are attractive. I mean, that's why half of the people come here is to look at my bookshelf.
And I was literally thinking that I was like, part 5 of the love series. I heard that books like if you have a bookshelf, just like there in your room, it's like a super attractive thing. You might as well put you might as well.
What are you gonna say, Toby?
something ignorant. So that's why I was like,
no, say it.
I was like, you might as well also put like an underwear drawer because they're all gonna just come off in the apartment. You might as well put an underwear drawer next to the bookshelf.
I love it. And you're not wrong, but like,
so I'm not wrong.
but like, it's because I don't know. It just shows that the guy has a hobby, which, as sad as that may sound, it goes a long way in South Florida because like it wouldn't be surprising to just go into a man's home and he just has a bed or just has like the most basic of furniture or something like that. Because they just don't do anything. It'll be like, I mean, I'm not saying that your house needs to be like put together, and I understand that, like there's memes that I've seen on like Twitter and what have you about, it's like, oh, this guy would, be a software engineer making six figures, and you go to his house and he just has like a chair in the living room and like the TV's on the floor on a box and he has like a video game system and then that's his whole house. It's like, I remember seeing shit like that in college. And I can understand because it's college, but like if you live on your own, I feel like this would be like the, I guess, a takeaway. If you live on your own and you like definitely post college, you have like a full-time job and you're making decent money, definitely invest in furniture. It doesn't have to be like the nicest furniture. Like I'd recommend getting like the nicest furniture, either just for like your bedroom or for like if you own a home, for sure. But like, if you're just like trying to, if you're just, if you're like making decent money, definitely go to like thrift stores, like we were mentioning earlier, to just get like some, just some furniture just to furnish the place, or like dumpster diving, which I guess is kind of literal. Some things that people do, and go to like Facebook Marketplace, which is fantastic for buying like gently used things, and what's it called? OfferUp. I mean, OfferUp bought Letgo, so OfferUp and Letgo are the same app now.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so there's also like this other app called like Mercari. That's like, I guess, more popular with like Gen Z, it seems. Clean cooks and has a bookshelf equals high value, man. You're not wrong, Alexis. My friend rented a place that came with a boomer bookshelf. So did my brother. Like he rented a place, like really nice area, like in Fort Lauderdale, and like pretty far east, which was like nice. You could like actually walk to places, which is like unheard of in South Florida, being able to walk, to stuff. And the whole entire home was like furnished. And so I was like, that's weird. So he kept the stuff for a while. Then he ended up like either getting rid of the stuff or selling it, because it's not like the owner was going to come back. I guess they just didn't care. So, but he had a bookshelf. It was like a bookshelf / desk. What's a boomer bookshelf?
I actually hadn't heard the term before, but I kind of was like, okay.
It was just,
like
I guess like a book. Maybe it's like depending on like the books on the bookshelf. Like what are like some like classic old school books that they've, I don't know, like To Kill a Mockingbird.
There's so many classics that I never read in school and I never read on my own. That's one of them.
Same. I never read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Catcher in the Rye.
I read Catcher in the Rye. That's actually a fantastic book. I actually really enjoyed that. And I don't really like books. I do like books. But I'll be honest, like out of those, first of all, my bookshelf is probably like, I don't know, maybe like 15-20% books. Other it's just like some of it has like video games. It's like just random stuff. But I haven't even read all the books on my bookshelf. I read all the fun books. But like at a previous job, like they were giving away some books. I was like, oh, this is perfect, 'cause I need books on my bookshelf. So,
yeah, I haven't like bought. Well, I bought some books in 2020 especially. I think last year maybe I bought like one, but I think I bought a bunch of books near as we were getting to the end of 2020, because I was like, I want to read these books. New Year's I didn't even fool myself. I did not make a single New Year's resolution really in 2020. I just kind of was like, we're just gonna roll into 2021 because we don't need any more disappointment. But I was like, it would be nice if I started reading some stuff. So I haven't bought books in a while, but I've gotten some random books from friends. So I had like the 4 Agreements. I don't remember if I actually still have it or if I gave it to a friend. But the Four Agreements was supposed to be this very like intellectual type book about like I don't know like self-help type stuff. I guess explaining the way the world is or like the agreements within yourself. I don't fully know, but it seems to be one of those books that like helps you understand yourself or others. And then like there's some other random books that I got either for cheap or like for free. So it's like I have all these books, not to mention books I've gotten from work. Like I've been able to request books for free about like software practices and like good architecture, like stuff. Like there's even some about like how to be a better leader and stuff that I've not at all touched, I'll be honest, but it was recommended some by some other employees, like senior developers. Some of them were like actual department people who were like, this might be a good book to read, and whoopsies. But it would still be good to have like a shelf or something so I could organize them properly. Maybe then they'll be in view and I'll actually think of reading them. I tell myself optimistically.
Real talk. I know 3 guys in the 20,000 per year range who have almost never. I said I don't have time to because they're all single.
Maybe it's because they're all single.
Well, that's partly why they're all single. I mean, like it says a lot when like you just go into a guy's home and it's like empty, or if it's like filthy, it's like, it's just like thinking afterwards. It's like, okay, if I sleep with this guy, all I'm gonna think about is I really just did that, like in this house. Like it's like it smells weird. It's empty. It's like it's all echoey. It's weird. it just seems uncomfortable. You just feel like you just kind of like lose a little like self-respect.
Oh God. Yo, it's like I can hear myself think. I can hear myself think a little too loudly in this house. Hey.
Yeah. You don't like sports? Well, fortunately, right now we're not quite talking about sports, but we will get into it. Today is more so just like an introduction for the month, which, like this month actually has 5 Tuesdays. So, this is just more so an introduction of like what the topic will be for this month. So we're going to be, talking about, sports, sometimes like the history of sports, like esports and things like that, all throughout the month. Unfortunately, our main host, the remarkable Ron, cannot join us tonight. And he was definitely looking forward to this because he's more knowledgeable about sports than we are. Actually, I think, talking about skateboarding, I don't know if you're just talking about like skateboards, like the actual boards, or if you want to talk about skateboarding. I actually think that would be pretty interesting because that's like more so X Games, which is still sports. Because that falls under like the realm of like, skating, snowboarding, things like that. That's all part of like X Games, which honestly, that doesn't really get talked about. Like I said, I don't really hear about it often. It's like super fucking cool to see all that shit. I think like we've all played the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game.
I actually never played that one, but I know there was like some random snowboarding games. Of all the games, I played like SSX Tricky. Yes. This is actually why I heard that it's tricky. It's tricky. X tricky from the rock to the ride. Like that's actually how I heard that song. Like as like an elementary schooler, like was that game, and you could do the coolest tricks. There's like another random. That was the GameCube. There was a Nintendo 64 game. That was also like a skateboarding game or a snowboarding game. So there's actually a lot of pop culture with snowboarding. I mean, I had to make sure that Shaun Waite's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shaun Waite does snowboarding because he was just in the Winter Olympics.
Right.
And I remember he's pretty big. Not to mention, like there's definitely plenty of like. I mean, you mentioned skateboard, not snow. I mean, you mentioned skateboard, not snowboard, but there's still.
I know they're totally different skateboarding and snowboarding, but like I think they still fall under like the same realm. I want to say X Games. I could probably be totally fucking wrong. Please correct me, because I've heard that term several times throughout my life, and it's always like fallen under like skateboarding, snowboarding, like rollerblading, like those kinds of sports.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, it's another thing, same that I've like heard it, but I'm like, I couldn't tell you exactly what is there. Like, except like, yeah, it's like the extreme stuff. So you can see the dirt bikes. You're gonna see it's like snowmobile type stuff. Um, all the people going in. I knew of Evil Knievel before he died, but I didn't think I knew him in the context of like if he was in X Games or any of that stuff, or he just did stunts outside of like actual competitions.
Mhm.
Um, and I think, yeah, Chad, 1080. I think that was the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you did the 1080, you got like extra points for doing like the flip, for doing like that many.
right.
Um,
But it was called SSX, but there was I think there was another game called 1080.
yeah, yeah, the
Was that
1080
was
was,
that what were they in the same realm? Like the same like game, I
they're
feel like?
both similar. I don't know if they were like the same. I
I
don't
could
know
have
if they were
sworn the
supposed
game
to be
was
the
called
same series.
SSX Tricky, and then there was always a SSX something.
Yeah, SSX Tricky, SSX3, There's like all these things.
Right, right.
Um, I think 1080 degrees. There, yeah. So I think 1080 degrees was the snowboarding game that I had played. 1080, and then the SSX Tricky was like a different series. Um, yeah, they seem to be different series.
Yeah.
See, like, there's so much that's been influenced by like a lot of these sports that are not maybe the most prominent in your head. Like,
Typical sports. Yeah, for sure.
and I think that's cool. Like Winter Olympics, as as Rocky mentioned, that was actually one of the influences too. So it's like March Madness is kind of like the big, okay, that's the one that everyone wants to like, ooh, look at that
Right,
girl
with college
with the big
basketball.
butt. But like you have Winter Olympics, and that's like a huge thing where a lot of people were able to get recognition. I don't remember the name of the person, but the black woman who like became the first to win, like I think speed skating. Um, so that
Mm.
was a super nice like victory. I posted something in the Discord. I just don't remember. Excuse me. Historical win Inter Olympics. I want to say it was like something Johnson, but Aaron Jackson. Okay, so I was like, I knew there was like a. I said Aaron Johnson. Aaron Jackson. She became the most decorated black athlete. She did speed skating, so it was super cool to see like new people emerge and get their like. And there's also like some older skaters, like late 30s, even like early 40s, who were able to like do really well too. So the Winter Olympics, there was a lot of diversity in like all types of ways. It was there was a lot going on, as we all kind of saw the headlines for people being isolated, like people who honestly like probably were fine because they were asymptomatic, but then they were treated like really poorly in these like isolated areas. They kind of missed a lot of training. Um, Mentally, it did not sound like a great time for the athletes, especially the ones who ended up testing positive for COVID. But like, I think they made the best that they could out of the situation. So the sharp contrast from the Summer Olympics, where I don't remember if people were really talking about COVID like that. Because I think the Summer Olympics happened before Delta became a huge thing. So there was a lot of time. Like there was a lot of, I think people were like pretty good in terms of like staying healthy, and there wasn't as much issues with isolation. But the Winter Olympics, man, it was tough.
Mhm.
Yeah, long COVID, I'm sure.
I know. I'm really sorry that your friend and your sister passed away. Roblox girl Cat 7.
Yeah, I just caught that.
Yeah, it's really really hard.
Was this related to COVID? Well, I guess either way, it's tragic.
For sure, yeah. No. We should.
Figure skating. Oh yeah, I saw some of the group figure skating performances, and that was crazy. Like I didn't really watch the performances all the way. I didn't see many performances, but I just remember seeing like it was just crazy because like the precision, the fact that you have this whole blade in your face, and like I don't know, just getting to that level where I'm trying to remember where I saw this joke where it's like I've been saying that we need regular people to do the Olympics so that way we can be impressed by the actual professional athletes.
I know.
So
I saw somewhere on the interwebs like a question of if there was an Olympic sport or like like an Olympic event that you think that you could win at, like any not like if like a make believe Olympic event, what do you think that would be? Like what what event do you think you could win? Let me actually I'll put it in the comments.
hmm, that's a good question. What is an event like? Oh, that actually would have been a fun one, right? Is like what are fictional sports or fictional Olympics? I don't know.
Like something that you're just like really, really good at. Liz says she'll win a talking contest. You know what? I think I would win a voicemail leaving contest. I think I am very good at leaving voicemails for a millennial. It's like I don't know if I'd take home the gold, but I think I'd take home a medal.
That's valid. Because a lot of people don't have their voicemail set up, or I just get to the habit of just being like, okay, I'm gonna cut off before. But some people I will leave a voicemail, but I'm like, will they even read this?
Like I leave my phone number, I say a couple of more things, and I repeat my phone number, and I'm like, all right, now give me a call back now, thanks.
Not a single
Not a single yes, that would be me.
Oh goodness.
Once again.
Um,
See, you would have lost, Toby. Just
I know.
honest.
I was like, I thought of that. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm actually pretty good. I feel like when I talk like in public presenting, I've been more cognizant of not saying the ums. I just usually just pause. I'm like, all right, we're just gonna not say anything for this little moment because people will just ding you so much for saying and these other words. Hey, okay, there we go. I wish Misha would see that one.
Toby, Toby would win in like being able to stay off of social media.
Well, it depends on the social media. I don't know because I like have getting much better now than I have been in previous years of not always being on social media, but I still feel that pull. Like I feel like, I had to make, especially with Snapchat, like, okay, now you have these expiring stories. So you have to be like seeing people's stuff within 24 hours. So I would have to make sure I was like looking through things chronologically to not miss anything. Instagram, a little less concerned about, but I feel like even when I would not use the apps as much, I still check in for certain things. Like Facebook, I had to like check people's birthdays. Before that, I always would do the Facebook memories. That was my obsession. I would that was it. I could win an Olympics for roasting myself on Facebook memories. Though I don't do it as much now. But if you saw my post from some years ago, like I used to just repost my memories all the time with some kind of caption like, what would make you think it was a good idea to post this? Or like, dang, that's like, I don't know. I would just say really snarky stuff. People would be like it was funny, but like, it definitely was a lot. I also might win an April Fool's Olympics. I don't know though. Like, I won't say that I do the most extravagant April Fools. I'm not much of a practical joker, so you're not going to see me like pranking you like physically with anything. But I would post things on social media that people will fall for, and then I have to explain that that was like a real thing. Like, oh, just because I would mix it. I don't want to spoil it, but since April Fools, let me actually check. April Fools is on a Friday. Okay. So it's not anywhere near our stream, but typically I just go in. I like post things. People don't know whether to believe it or not. Usually good things. I'll be like, I got this cool position, and I did not get this position. Or I dropped out of grad school to start my own company. I didn't do that. Or I was in a fake relationship with someone, which I was not.
You weren't even in a fake room.
You said what?
You weren't even in a fake relationship.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even in a fake relationship. Well, that was a double negative.
You would win at not being in a fake relationship.
Just kidding, guys. Like you thought you were being pranked, but it was actually real. Change someone's
For Bordeaux.
I actually don't have any Pinot Noirs here. I have some in my fridge, and I don't know if I know the Bordeaux.
See you, Roblox cat,
See
girl
you.
cat. It was great that you stopped by.
But
Definitely take care of yourself.
yeah, please, please,
Yeah,
please.
I'm very, very sorry about your losses. Man, that shit's hard, man. It's so fucking hard.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, there's, and I didn't want to say drinking contest because that's kind of like, because I don't really be drinking like that where I'm like, oh, I'll drink you. Like that's not really my vibe.
I could probably win back in college. Like,
oh, so that was.
Even though, like, when my friend was in town the other weekend, like, we drank 3 bottles of wine just in a night. I don't think I've ever really just done that. It was great though. Like,
Oh, okay. You actually.
yeah. Now I can see why people just, drink tons of bottles of wine. I feel like it's like a weird, different drunk, especially when you're just home. It's even though I love wine and I've definitely been wine drunk, I've never really been like I've hung out with friends and just got like drank wine, but it was never just like 3 bottles back to back to back. It's like, oh, you just drink like a bottle here and then that's pretty much it. Then but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So it's a different drug. So I feel like it kind of, I don't think it really like tips you over. Like if you were to just be drinking liquor a lot or even drinking beer. So I feel like wine is like a lot easier on you than beer. Beer, I feel like just really bloats you and fattens you up.
Yeah.
Wine, not so much.
You'll get sick from the actual like with beer. I mean, this happened to my roommate. One of my roommates senior year, they were doing like a keg stand type or some kind of keg thing. Like they had the kegs all set up. They had like a board that they were like putting down. I guess how many maybe cups of beer they had drank, and like one of the roommates, like I mean, thankfully he was able to make it to the bathroom fine. Like, but he was out because like he got really sick because it was more from the volume. You just drink so much. And I've seen videos. Don't even ask me how these videos came across my YouTube, but I've seen videos like maybe 2 years ago where it was like people would drink a lot of beer very quickly, and it wasn't like okay, it was like maybe 3, right? And that's not a lot of beer. Like if you're gonna space that out, even like within an hour, 3 beer, like yeah, you feel a bit bloated, but you're not gonna be beyond drunk.
We're talking about the power hour.
I don't know.
Were you taking a shot of beer once a minute for an hour?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did not know about that. I guess okay, so that's just a shot because okay, that'd be a lot smaller quantity.
Right, like a shot of beer, like it doesn't seem like much, but when you do it once a minute for 60 minutes,
It's
like
okay.
I don't know how many beers it adds up to, but I've never done it, but I've seen people do it in college.
Oh god, no, I didn't know that was a thing. Me, I mean, yeah, because I thought they were taking like big cups. To be honest, because in the amount of like the tallies they were doing, like it was more spaced out. Like it would have had to have been. It had to be drinking much. Like the tallies would have been a lot longer because I'm pretty sure like 30 minutes, an hour had passed. Some people were only on like 7 before they KO'd. But like I forgot exactly where I was going with it, but like I think like with beer, it's just like yeah, it's much more bloated. It's not great. Like like oh yeah, I've seen the YouTube videos where people would drink like back to back beer, right? And then like after they would chug it, it just would come out, and like it would come out, but it would be like still almost looking like beer. Like I mean, obviously, if you ate some stuff, not to be too graphic, like like I
Okay.
guess if you didn't really eat like a lot of actual food, then it's like okay, it just kind of comes out like a foamy beer, and it's like this is really strange. YouTube, why did you like? How did I get here? How did I get on the weird part of YouTube again? And And so, yeah, that was never my thing. Thankfully, I've never been sick from drinking, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Though other people would have me love to see me otherwise.
Mhm.
My great friends, toxic people. I mean, I love them. I'm not. I would say this to their face, so it's fine. Yeah, my toxic friends who would enjoy seeing me dying from alcohol, but anti-beer propaganda will not stand. Oh, I used to be really into beer, like even as recent as last year. Like when Elle was here in Boston, we literally went to a liquor store.
Right,
Um,
and bought some beer. Well, yeah, like I had to, yeah, because my sister was going. We are gonna like meet up with one of my sister's friends, and she was like, "Buy an IPA." I was like, "LOL, no." And so- I hate IPAs. That's the only anti-beer propaganda I will push. Is like I'm anti-IPA. Anything else, I'm pretty much fine with. Belgian ales are my favorite, and then like pretty much just all kinds of ales. I like porters and stouts as well, but IPAs is just no. Like I am not convinced that you like IPAs. If anybody does, I'm like, I was like, I just don't think you've. I think you're still lying to yourself. You know? So that's the only anti-beer propaganda I will push is anti-IPAs. I do like this one called like Two Hearted Ale. It's like it has like a fish on it. It's a really good beer if you ever like see it in the stores. It's like an American pale ale though. I don't think it's an Indian pale ale.
okay.
No, Chad, IPAs are not good.
RPAs are good. Just oh
Just,
gosh.
I don't know. It's just like I might as well just eat a bunch of hops at that point. just just right off the plant. Just it's like just as good.
I mean, there were definitely some IPAs I actually liked, like um little some. I think Dogfish Head was pretty. Like I like Dogfish
Yeah.
Head. I like Lagunitas Little Something. My friend really liked that one, so he got me into it. Some of the other Lagunitas were okay, and I don't know what it is about beer, but it was always better coming out of the bottle than the can. Like if I have a can of IPA, even beer in general, it's like that's okay, but out of the bottle, yes, just it's not just psychology. I know it's not psychological. It's actually different when you get beer out the bottle. Always like the even if it's like a sharp IPA, I'm like, okay, this is a lot better that it came out of the bottle than out of the can. Like I would have to force myself to just drink some of those canned IPAs. Um, and even the one that you had given me, I think that was like Golden Monkey or something. It
Mhm.
was interesting, but I think over time I was like, oh, I actually don't know if I like this one as much. And that's when I think I realized maybe I don't like beer as much as I thought I did. Actually, I like Shipyard and there's Shipyard and there's another one. I have like
You
two.
like Hoegaarden. You always drink Hoegaarden.
Yes, but that's mostly because of the jokes I can make. Because even Whole Garden, I drink it. I'm like, okay, this isn't bad, but it's not as good as I remember. But I do like Allagash White a lot. I just had one a few days ago. Allagash White is another wheat beer. I actually had
Mhm.
that one like in grad school, like 2017, 18. And I was like, this is really good. Same time I had Hoegaarden. But I didn't realize that those were like wheat beers. But the Belgian wheat beers, I would say they're pretty good overall. But
Mhm.
like I don't know. I think I just have kind of like a nice beer can be refreshing, but I think at this point, like the wine has kind of taken a hold on me, as well as certain I would say mostly whiskey that's like just nice, good whiskey in a glass of ice and you can sip on it, like Black Label. Um
Yeah. No, I hear you. Like, even though I do brew beer, I actually prefer wine. One of the things I do like about beer, though, is that it just seems to be very like community in terms of like. I feel like beer really gets you to like just open up and have conversations. Like even if you're just like at like a brewery, you could like always kind of start a conversation with somebody. Wine, I don't really feel like that's the case as much. I feel like wine is really good when it's just like you and another person to like kind of have like more intimate conversations with. Um,
I see
which
what
is
you're
just what I overall prefer. Like I like to converse, get into your soul. But I do love beer when it comes to just like the whole community aspect of it, where it just seems like like if it's like like a drink party. Like if you're at like the pool, you have like a Corona. You don't really have like wine. You can, but it's like you need like a good pool beer, like a Corona or like something light. Which is like you're probably going to be like communicating with like a lot of people, just like keep like a good buzz going and not get like too over the board. That's like the scary part about liquor because yeah, liquor is quicker, but it could really, fuck you up.
That's true.
And like, liquor is nice, like depending. Like, I feel like the only time I'd really drink liquor is if like, like one of my friends, I think he was a bartender and like at parties he likes to just like kind of create drinks. So, like I have like some of his drinks, but it's never like I never really find myself going to where all the liquor and drinks are and like, oh, okay, I see there's orange juice and like vodka. Let me make a screwdriver for myself. It's usually like, all right, if my friend isn't making drinks, I'm just going to, grab a beer or something like that because it's just kind of easy and it's like a low level drink in terms of like ABV.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. Killing me with these beer takes.
I have to say, I hope that at least I hope that
Hey,
it wasn't
Ryan.
too bad. What's
Hey.
up? I'm pretty sure I know who this is. What's up, Ryan? Yo, before I came on the stream, I mentioned I was getting tea. So like, I stopped by some friend's place, and there was some nice homemade tea and some food that just wanted to chill for a bit, and then because I think other people had also been getting sick, so it's like, okay, well, if we're all sick, we might as well like share remedies. So besides going shopping, I just stopped by, chilled, got some tea, got some other stuff. But yo, this is definitely such a great conversation. Like, I don't even mind that it's not even fully on topic, but it's like there's so much when it's come to alcohol that I've discovered because I didn't there's so much that like it's just so interesting. Like liquor, so I kind of feel you about the liquor. Like, yeah, if it's a party and like you want the vibes, cool. It just depends. Like sometimes you're just there because it's like, okay, let me see what people are drinking, and I guess I'll chill. But I was always like the guy who didn't really want to drink a lot. So like I would drink things just to taste, but I wasn't gonna try to get drunk. So it's like, what's the point? And even now, I'm still not like my intention is not to get smashed, but it is kind of like it's kind of nice to like let I guess lessen your inhibitions. Like as long as you're in an environment where people are not going to be like doing the most, and you can trust people and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to like you have to like really know like yourself and what you're doing, and have to like stand strong because some people, it's the broken clock and a shot o'clock all the time because the clock never moves, and so we're on shot o'clock, and I'm like, no, this clock needs to move. Like we have to get off of shot o'clock and wait until a next appropriate time. But it's fine. Like I've never like been pushed to that point. I've like definitely had I've had some chaotic times with certain alcohol, but like I was able to recover and be fine, learn my lesson. Didn't like get to the point where I was like sick, but it was definitely like, yeah, this was not the move. We're not doing this again. Casamigos, nope, you're not gonna get me. Not again.
I've heard that before. I don't know if you've said it, but I definitely heard about like the Casamigos because that's it was on like George Clooney's tequila.
And I did not know that till like end of last year. But I knew of Casamigos over the summer because that's when I remember drinking it, and late spring, I should say.
No, I hear it's pretty bad. So I guess it is something that you drink in a house with your friends, hence the name.
You would think so. I would see Casamigos at like lounges, and people like would get bottle service with Casamigos. The way that people used to do Henny, where Henny was the big thing. Henny, we got their Henny bottles, and we're drinking it straight out. That's what people started doing with Casamigos. They would just buy it and drink it straight out. And I'm like, for what? This isn't even good. Like, this isn't good. Like, give me Espolón. I actually have some Espolón unopened over there. So it's a cheap tequila, but it gets the job done. Give me some Espolón. The coconut 1800. I mean, that one's sweet, so everyone likes it. Yeah. give me even Don Julio or Patron. Like I'm not really a big fan of like they're fine. I would not go out of my way personally to buy them for myself. But I know people who are really big on Don Julio and Patron, and I respect it. But at least do that. Like Casamigos is actually really not good for like how much money you're paying. Not only is it bad, like it just tastes bad, it's expensive. So it's like a double L. Sorry, L, but it's a double L.
I said one me is fine, but two me's is problematic. Like, um, so yeah, Ryan, this is just what happens sometimes. We tend to go on tangents. Unfortunately, the remarkable Ron, our third amazing host isn't here tonight, and he's definitely like the sports guru. But like this month, I mean, like today, we're sort of just kind of having like an overview of what we're going to be talking about for the month, which is March is the month of where we're going to be talking about sports. We did have a question about if like what non-Olympic, like if like a make believe Olympic event, what would you win in like a make believe Olympic event? Like what is something that you're good at, like so good at that for a fact that you would win a medal, like something that doesn't exist in the Olympics. Like I said, like leaving voicemails. I feel like as a millennial, I'd be excellent at leaving voicemails. And I think Toby was talking something about like you were talking about like wine or liquor. You're talking about drinking.
But actually, I did find something real where I was like, oh, actually, it's gonna be this thing. I forgot what it is. What I said. I did think of something new though that actually is good. Showing up to the last microsecond that you can still show up to an event and get in. The last second that I can show up and still get into an event or like a club or something. That's probably the best thing. Is can I actually still get into this event and pull it off? Which we'll see what happens this weekend.
I would totally win this.
You said who?
How about you? That'd be a nice event. Who's the best at changing topics? I don't know if like
that's like our entire thing.
Like if I mean, it's kind of our thing that we said.
Yeah, so we would win that one
for sure. No, like I would. It's like, all right, we're talking about this now. Then it's like the topic would be like trees. If treading water was the.
I mean, hey, keep yourself afloat, endurance. Mm-hmm. That's actually like at least in the realm of like physical stamina. Now, one thing that I was kind of like curious that we might talk about was our own like experience with sports.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Which I feel like that, that's something that can get grouped in here because it doesn't need to be like an entire 2+ hour stream, but like we have like our own experience with sports and like our own upbringings with it. Especially when you grow up in school, you have to take like phys ed classes, right? So you kind of like are exposed to a lot of sports. And I'm kind of curious on like how that like, I don't know, shaped on your interest or lack of sports.
Wait, say that
I'm curious on how that would have shaped your interest in or lack of interest in sports, like the interactions you had in school or in the community, were there things that you liked that you kind of don't anymore, or things that you were not great at, or some sports that you were good at? Because we just never really talked. Like we've talked a lot about like I know Ron always will mention like Michigan and Michigan people. You have your like sport culture, and we've talked about athletes, of course, in the political or like civil rights. But I don't know if we have like ever just gone like talked about what have we done as like young lads and lassies. Like even you, I actually don't know if I know like what sports.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we ever really spoke about it. I remember like I took like tennis classes, like tennis lessons, like a bit. I don't even know if I was like it's like middle school, maybe high school. Maybe, I don't know. It was probably middle school. And then, yeah, I think it was middle school because I think I wanted to join the tennis team in high school. However, unfortunately, it was very hard for, me and my siblings to actually do, extracurriculars after school because we have a brother with autism. And so we would have to, go on the bus with him to take him home to open the door and, like, because he couldn't do that on his own. So, like, doing things after school was, like, damn near impossible, which was, you know, oftentimes a bummer because, like, sometimes, like, we were close enough to high school to, like, be able to walk. So, like, sometimes it'd be like, "Hey, you don't have to, you know, go on the bus today. We could walk home," but it's not something that you wanna do every day, and also, like, to walk home in fucking 80, 90-degree weather versus going on a bus that literally stops in front of your house because that's what the special needs buses did, for their students. They would stop right in front of their house. So it's like, like, what would you rather do? Be in an air conditioned bus that stops you right in front of your house, or walk home that, in like 80, 90-degree weather every day that can sometimes rain, and you have a brother with autism who can just dash off at any moment to go try and find a bathroom. And then, so it was like, oh, well, like, but, I definitely wish I, did like more sports, like maybe if, like if I pushed for it, we probably could have, like figured something out. Like maybe my mom and I, or, somebody in the family could have like created some sort of schedule to help out with my brother. But, just thinking back, I wouldn't have like really had that idea to do so. It's just like, oh, this is the rite of passage to, take care of him, to, take him home. Yeah, I wish I did track. There was a time in middle school because I was like on the basketball team, even though I never like played in a game. But like I was on the basketball team in 8th grade, and like there was an opportunity to, like join track, and I almost did, but then I just ended up not doing it. And like sometimes I think like, man, like I probably would have done well because, once I got older, especially like in, like college and even like soon after college, people would always ask me if I ran track, if I was an athlete, because I'm just shaped like an athlete. Like I even one time went to a foot doctor, and he had to like something was going on with my foot. I think I probably had like plantar fasciitis for like the umpteenth time, and
Jeez.
and so he was like, "You're an athlete." I was like, "No, I'm not one." And it's just like it kind of like he's like a physical therapist, and it just made me think like, man, like if I actually like did track, if I actually like ran, I probably would have had like such an advantage just because of just how I'm shaped.
Yeah.
You could have gone to probably like like a physical therapist just thought I was a track runner. Like people thought that I was like an athlete. I was like, oh, I never played a sport.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
Like me, my Jamaican heritage. That's true. But I would have been the asshole to run for Jamaica, not the United States. But
Yo.
like,
Yeah.
like especially since I've been like working out more, and like it's like, man, like I guess some people like it just sort of feels like, oh, like I could have actually done this because I actually do enjoy it.
Yeah. So this is kind of like it's still in the realm of like exercise, though not exactly sports, but like I have a good friend of mine. Like we're still good friends. We just haven't seen each other since like college graduation. But he's like maybe a little taller than me. He always used to be like a really skinny guy, but then he like got buff. He's Indian, and so like he was born here, but family's from India, and
Yeah.
so he like he was pretty built, like, but he was like he had to do so much work, and he was like it's not. He's like totally it's not fair. Like people like you. he was like he was like a year black. Like all these black guys just have this genetic, like a lot of them have this genetic advantage where it's just like you just like go in the gym 15 minutes and then come out ripped. But like a lot of people, now not that all Indians, but I think maybe where he's from, like you don't necessarily see the most muscular people. People might be more lanky, different just body types, But he's like a lot of the black people he's seeing where it's like even like people who just, I guess I was never like super cut, but I was always like skinny, whatever. So if I was able to tone myself and just kind of like, work out the right parts, it would show more naturally. And I would end
Mhm.
up being like, yo, I actually like, oh yeah, you work out, you're fit. But even without doing all that, like I still like had a little bit of something. I'm not gonna pretend like I had like killer abs, but like in other parts of my body, I feel like I just had the muscle strength and it was there. And like I would look toned, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing because I'm not really actively working out. So I always thought that, dang, if I actually took it seriously, I really could. And I mean, now I'm like 20, I'm 26, very soon to be 27, and my metabolism is still fine, but like, there's a point where it's not going to be as easy to just like look good and like look a certain way. So, um, it's kind of sad. Like when I was, obviously when we're young, we play sports. College, not necessarily, but you're always moving around. You probably are walking like 10 minutes, depending on how big your campus is.
For
Easily, I
sure.
could walk 10 minutes to class. You're walking everywhere else. You're just walking. And then grad school, similar. I'm walking around a lot. Um, and then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, now we get to walk to your car, drive to your office, walk to your office. Yes, I did go up some stairs and down some stairs. Ooh, yeah, there's like one flight, like one little spiral staircase,
Right.
and that's it. So,
You see, go up a fancy flight of stairs.
I'm dead.
That's hilarious. I
Yo,
love how much faith Rocky had in it. If only he, encouraged us like 10, 15 years ago. He's like, oh, you could have gone to the league. Like, I'm from the future. Get into track. You'll be the next Allison Felix.
yo, the ghost of sports future. We will
Right.
call it the future.
And I would have believed him
Oh,
too.
oh, absolutely. We will. There's a whole thing about like urban. I don't know if it's transportation that will be a monthly topic, but there's a lot to talk about when it comes to urban infrastructure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
urban infrastructure, the suburbs, the cars, and everything in society. Oh my god!
For
Like I'm
sure.
not an expert, but I actually am pretty excited about that conversation. Um, Especially here in the Boston area, some of the worst traffic in the country, and I don't know if it's someone in the administration who talks about, but there's someone who's come on the guest as a radio who will talk about how there's like certain things that you can do with like congestion pricing or with like certain lanes and like incentive, like positive incentives as well that you can do just to like reduce enough traffic for a certain amount of time that will make a big difference. That's like one angle from it, but also like the actual getting people fit. I think actually I just heard on the radio last week that the Boston mayor is making certain bus lines free. It's
Mm-hmm.
not because they're using some of the pandemic money, so they have to find a sustainable plan for like post. Because I think it's going to like September of this year, so they need to find a plan for next year. But like that was one thing they were trying to do. They also were trying to expand bike lanes and make it more equitable. I mean, she's our mayor, like very progressive, strong believer in the Green New Deal. So like, not only will it help the environment and trying to electrify the systems, they're also trying to have like more active. And we already have a bike share program in Cambridge, Boston area, but they're trying to expand things more. Now, there's nothing that I can do, like living 40 minutes from Boston. Even the town that I live in, like there is walkability in it, but not the part that I'm at. So it's not like I would ever really just like casually walk myself down anywhere. So yeah, that's a whole conversation. Like even when it comes to just casually like walking, like I would have to probably drive myself to like a park somewhere because
Yeah.
there's not really sidewalk. Like a lot of the places where I live, I'm like, there's not really sidewalks here. You just like my complex, you can walk because it's pretty big, but like outside of that, the street's there. Good luck. There's no sidewalk. Like you're not walking anywhere. You're gonna need to drive yourself somewhere. Maybe go through a park or find like an area more downtown to walk through. Which
Mm-hmm.
would be a pain. I
But
feel
the
like.
thing is like even when you're walking, like if you were to go downtown, this it's still gonna be like congested with a lot of people. Like if so it depends on what kind of if you're just gonna like mindlessly walk and just to get like your steps in, okay, that's fine. But like if you're trying to like walk or like jog or run for exercise, and like a ton of people might be an inconvenience.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, people do it every day, like at like in Central Park and stuff. So I don't
That's
know. Like, but no, it's true. Like, um, fortunately, there's like a lake in my neighborhood that I jog around. But of course, not everybody has that privilege. And but for other parks, like if like sometimes I drive to a park to train with my trainer. We do like like sprints and other types of shit. But like, and sometimes we go for like runs and stuff.
hmm.
But I have noticed that they have been like building, like they've been like changing like like doing construction on the roads to make more like bike lanes, which is cool. And like, I don't know what the hell the colors on the road mean, because I did not learn this in driving school, or or like when I had to study for the license, get my license and permit. But like, like the crosswalk, which is like the white lines, but like now they painted like red stuff in between, like in the squares between the white lines, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and
Huh.
no one's told me. There's like no key anywhere. I understand you can't really just put a key, just out in the earth, like out in the world.
We're just gonna
Yeah, just like a legend. It's like, but I want to know, and like why like the bike lane is like a green.
hmm.
I don't know. Does it mean like stop? Like the red stuff, does that mean stop? It's like, yeah, of course I stopped there, because it's usually at an intersection. I don't know. I don't know what any of that means.
And I don't think I'm familiar with that because I know we have like when I see bike lanes, usually you see just like the bike symbol on like, and sometimes these lanes are like actual car lanes too. Sometimes it's very clear that they're narrower, but sometimes they're like an actual lane, or it's like a one lane road, and I'm like, what is happening right now? If there's a bike here, I don't know what's supposed to go on.
Right, I've seen that too. Like sometimes, like the bike lane sort of just merges into like a car lane, and it still has like the bike symbol. So I don't I don't know if it's like, yeah, this is where bikes should go, but just be mindful of cars, or cars should be mindful of bicycles. I don't know. But it
Coexist.
kind of does make me want to like bike more. Well, I say more as if I bike. It actually makes me want to like bike. Like maybe I have been thinking about investing in a bicycle. 'Cause I do live close to like some like shopping areas and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know how often I'd realistically use the bike if I were to get a bike.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
It sounds nice until it's like, actually getting ready with this, the helmet, the where to bike, because I'm not confident enough to just like bike openly and be like, oh yeah, right. Like it's one thing if you're just biking in your little neighborhood, and you're not really like seriously trying to go. But if you're trying to bike through like actual traffic, like people really bike in like real intersections and everything, I'm like, y'all are bold because I can't be doing this. Yeah, and that's actually cool. Like, so I guess the topic changing. Um, the Pokemon Go thing is interesting because that was a huge craze, of course. When it happened, I didn't get it because I just didn't even trust that my phone was ever going to support something like that.
Really? So you never played Pokemon Go?
Not once. I did not.
What?
Like when it came out, that was like what? That was like 2016 August ish or July. It was like summer 2016.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It was like July 2016.
And I remember that I had just come out. I was like really busy at the time. I graduated college that year. Was going to grad school. I don't know. Just and then my phone was always perpetually not doing very well. So I was like, I'm not even going to pretend that this thing's going to work on my phone. And even when I got newer phones, better phones, I was just didn't have the interest. The high key Pokemon I fell out of. Like we're gonna go back to when the DS came out. Diamond and Pearl came out. Don't even remember. Don't ask me why I remember this date. I think it was April 22nd, 2007. Because it was when I remember I had just moved to a new town in Maryland. That was my first that was spring. That was my first spring there, the DS Lite came out. The DS came out. I really wanted the DS super badly. I did not get the DS for like almost 10 years. By that time, generations had passed. We were on like
Right, yeah.
God knows. I don't know if we were on XY yet, but we were getting there. We were getting pretty late. Now
Mm.
you have what, Sword and Shield, Sun Moon. You have all these things. XY. You
I know
have
they just stopped
birds,
colors. Now they're
bees,
like
the bees and the birds. I don't know. You said what?
they just like stopped colors. They're like Pokemon Peas and Pokemon Pods, Pokemon Salt, Pokemon Pepper.
Pokemon Go to the pools. That was literally the reference I remember too, Chad.
I know that was just terrible. It was just so cringe. I'm like, lady, just be yourself.
Honestly, it's kind of hilarious. Like now, I'm just like, yes, like epic. Pokemon Go to the pools. Oh my god.
Pokemon Go to the pool.
Like I love it. Like at the time, of course, it was so cringe, but now I'm like, this is actually kind of epic to say this as a presidential candidate. But no, I know Ron mentioned this one. Ron and someone in the Discord definitely mentioned this too. Someone else had mentioned it, and I personally was not keeping up with it. I just remember seeing like the headlines of what's going on. You know, I don't really be following.
What the lawsuit?
Yeah, like the discrimination lawsuit because I guess he was fired as a coach, or I don't know if he was fired or he just denied some opportunity, but he was coach of like a few teams, right, including the Dolphins, I think.
Oh, right.
I couldn't tell you what's going on with that coach or really what his history was, but more power to him. Yeah, yeah, there was a Herman Cain thing. I guess when he dropped out of the race, he had like a speech or an email to his like list, and it was like the Pokemon.
Yeah, it was like the first Pokemon, the first movie, like the ending song is like, life can be a challenge, life can seem impossible.
Oh my god.
And then he made that part of his speech. But he's like, it's sort of crazy to think because like, you know, he died of COVID like 2020?
Like very end, I think it was like near the end of 2020, yeah.
Yeah, because of a crazy ass Trump rally that he most likely got COVID from. Like that's so insane. That's
Yeah, because I didn't think he was like that old or that sick. So it's like, whoa.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
And like it's crazy that it's like, oh, I don't wish that on him. I don't wish that on anyone. That's like actually really, really sad.
Mm-hmm.
But
what was even sadder was like his team, Herman Cain's team, like tweeted after he died.
Yeah, they tweeted something about like they tweeted some like Trump-esque like COVID's not real type thing, and I'm like,
yeah,
y'all aren't serious. Y'all aren't serious right now.
It was like some pro-COVID shit. It's like, are you serious, dude? Like, yeah, that's scary.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah. So I guess speaking of the NFL, that Super Bowl was a few weeks ago. I only saw clips of it while I was at some other event. I don't know if it was. I think it was like an R&B type event that was like a chill Sunday night thing at a lounge. I was an underdog guy, so I just was like Bengals, Bengals, but I wasn't coming in rooting for them. I just kind of half-heartedly was like, it'd be cool if they won. And then as I saw that they were about to win, I was like, okay, please keep it. And then the Rams, they had the epic comeback. So I was like, you know what? Good game all around. Kind of like random history of my watching NFL anything, but I only saw the Super Bowl. Let's call it 2013. That was my first year in college. Kind of had to watch it because it was the Ravens, and we were just 15 minutes from Baltimore. Thankfully, they won, but that was a very close game against the 49ers. And then I watched the Super Bowl every year until like 2017 or 18. And at that point, I was like, I don't know if I care enough. But the hilarious part, my first year, I was in Baltimore, and, you know, we won. Second year, I ended up going to this computer science conference for diversity in computing. Mm-hmm. It's in Seattle. It's in February.
Oh, okay.
The Super Bowl literally just happened. Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, it was actually really cold. And when I went to Seattle, the Seahawks had just won against I can't remember who they played against, but they had just played against someone. and they won. So literally when we get to Seattle, and that's that whole conference, there's like more crazy stuff that happened like on the way to the conference. But like we get on the rail, the Seattle rail to go to like the hotel. Or I mean I get on it. I don't know who else was with me. But I was getting on it to get to the hotel for the conference. Literally at one point we got on the hotel, they made us get off. There was like all these people pressed against the glass, like cheering, and I was like, "What the heck are y'all doing?" Like their faces look like at this point, did I watch Attack on Titan? I did. So their faces look like Titans, like those like creepy smiling faces. I was like, "What's wrong with y'all?" So we got off. They kicked us off the freaking train. They didn't explain what was going on, but we had to get off. Then these fans got on so they could go to some rally in the opposite direction. Then we had to wait for the next train to take us back the way we were going. And I was like, what kind of nonsense is this? So because that conference was like Wednesday to Friday, the Super Bowl had just happened the past Sunday. So people were still super excited.
For sure, yeah.
The next year, the conference was like a week later in Boston, and the Patriots had just won against the Seahawks that year, which was kind of poetic because the Seahawks won in 2014. Then the Patriots won 2015, and that was my first time ever in Boston. I had no idea I was going to be here long term at the time. But so same conference, same time of the year, except a week later. There was no hubbub though about them winning. And then 2016, I can't remember who played, but I don't think it was a very exciting game. It wasn't the one that was freaking 28-3. It wasn't the freaking Atlanta Falcons. Actually, that joke is not actually that does not age very well. But 28-3, like there was that game was insane. That was definitely 2017. I wish I could remember the 2016 game, but I can't remember and that saved my life.
Wasn't it like I feel like it was like the Patriots?
Yeah, I think the Patriots because the Patriots won. Wait, they won in 2015. They won in 2017.
Yeah, that was probably no, I think they won in 2017.
Because that's when they beat the Falcons. I don't remember what happened. In 2018, they almost won again. I don't know if they almost won, but it was like, we're literally going to do this 3 times. But then thankfully, the Eagles won. Because
that was a good
I actually like the Eagles. I don't even think I watched that game, but like I had good friends of mine back from Baltimore who were good. Because I don't know, we have that connection. Philly's like an hour and a half from Baltimore. So you see some Eagles fans. You see a lot of Steelers fans in Maryland too. Seahawks should have ran the ball. Yo, I remember that whole thing. Yeah. And I remember was it Richard Sherman's face? That meme where he's just like, what are you doing? The memes were great. Like, I don't even like some people talk about the commercials. Like even the non-sports people will be like, I love the commercials, I love the halftime experience. Some of those memes were on fire. I don't remember what happened in 2018.
What? That's when the Eagles won.
But I don't remember. Don't forget what happened. Was there like a controversial call or something? Or I assume there was like some big thing that happened that you're referring to, Chad.
I feel like there. What do I feel like there was? I think like they took so long to like count a touchdown that year, and like I remember like the referees and like the cameras were like took forever to like try to count something. And I think they ended up counting it as a touchdown. I think that ended up happening, but I feel like there might have been some other plays. Oh, he said, "Nah, Tom Brady got
Oh, is that the year that he like stormed off in that interview or whatever? Like he didn't either shake someone's hand at the end or he just like didn't have an interview. There was something that made him look like a bad sport, but I don't remember exactly the news. I just remember the news coverage was like, oh, Tom Brady was unsportsmanlike, whatever. But yeah, I mean that would have been a fun game to watch. I don't know. I think I was busy that year. I remember that year, like that spring 2018, but I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah.
That was a busy year. That was my second year of grad school. They were putting everything on this.
That was awesome because like for the longest, Philly's been a place I've been considering moving to. Like either Philly or Atlanta. Finally narrowed it down to like 2 places. Probably leaning more towards Atlanta.
Okay.
But Philly, like I've been to Philly once and I just like fell in love with the city. Because at least back when I visited, I was like on vacation. It just seemed as though like I hear that Philly's like a really nice city, but it's also like It's also like relatively cheap, at least back then. I'm sure it probably it's like a livable price. It's not like outrageous like New York and Boston and DC. It's like, all right, Philly's a great city and it's, you know, like a good price to like live in. So I was like, I could definitely do something like that. So I just wanted to like live in a city or at least near a city because I don't really live. I mean, yeah, I guess I live nearish Fort Lauderdale, but it's not. I don't know. And Miami is like it's a bit of a drive. It's like under an hour, which is okay, but it's still kind of like all right. Once you get to Miami, now you need to find parking and navigate, and you get on like such a defense mode when it comes to driving because it's like you have to go on like defense mode and attack mode at the same time when you're driving in Miami. Which is fine, like I'm used to it, but it's just like and like the traffic is just terrible. But Miami is a really fun city though. Like if I could live in Miami and like walk to places, it'd be like super cool, but I can't.
Yeah. I just I was supposed to be in Miami for Carnival, right? So the fact that I couldn't make it is sad, but like when I was looking at places to fly into and stuff, I was like, what is this? Like there was like Fort Lauderdale's airport,
Yeah.
there was Miami's airport, and then there was another, there was like three airports. The Miami one,
Probably Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. I was like, I guess I just was so ignorant about like geography of all this. Like I was like, dang, there's like all these like places that are their own towns that are still within the main area. Like with Boston, like that's it. Like you're flying into Boston and Boston.
You're
Like,
flying to Logan, right?
they can go to Manchester, but that's regional. Maybe Providence has something, but honestly, I don't even know if that's the case. But
Right,
like
that's true. I
Miami,
guess
I was like, dang. And then I was trying to like do the mapping of all the different events because they were different. Most of them were closer to Miami, but some were further north, closer to Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, okay, how do I map this the most efficiently? Where can I stay in a hotel that will be closest to everything? I can like Uber to everything within some distance that's not going to kill me.
Mhm.
And I mean, I eventually just didn't end up doing it because I didn't have enough time to plan. But like, that's an aside. But like, Miami would be an interesting place if I could actually be in the heart of it. But I would not want to drive myself. Ubers would like be so crazy, but at least I wouldn't have to drive because that does not seem like a fun time at all.
You could take the train, like the train. Well, now the trains are back up. Like both the Tri-Rail and the Bright Line were down for a lot, like because of COVID. But yeah, both trains are back up now, and like they're good trains. I never been on the Bright Line. That's a high speed rail. It literally only stops in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. And then there's the Tri-Rail that like goes all the way up, like I think all through Palm Beach County, I want to say, and then all the way down to Miami, like has like some stops. So they're good trains. I've heard great things about the Bright Line.
Okay.
Haven't yet gone on it, even though I want to, but I haven't gone on it yet. But yeah. So next time you're in town, or you're planning, definitely let me know. Definitely.
Gotcha. Miami,
And like
like
I wouldn't mind driving to Miami. Like don't like if you're like staying in like a hotel in like Fort Lauderdale, even in Miami, I don't mind driving there and like taking you around. just
tour guide.
yeah. I mean, I do want to like go to Miami more often though, because I feel like I've spoken about that before on the stream. Because like there's a lot of like cool things to do in Miami because it is a legit city, but it's just like all right, like getting there on like a weeknight just to like do something.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the move.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel about Boston too. Like, I have made my way to Boston area on some weeknights. Like Thursday nights, sometimes if there's stuff happening, I'll go to Cambridge or something. I was in Quincy last week, Thursday. I usually go to Cambridge once a month for this R&B thing. So, like, I have my reasons, and I will drive that 40 minutes on a weeknight. But like, It is rare. Like I had to go to the ICA, the Institute for Contemporary Art in Boston. I met a friend like a month ago there. Whew, because we were trying to get there by like what 6 something, and I was like, oh god, this is gonna be the worst time because like traffic is traffic. But thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. For my friend, she really got it bad. Like it was, whew, on her end, it was bad. But my end, it was like not great, but I was able to like make it through. But I was like, I definitely couldn't make this a regular thing to like get to Boston shortly after rush hour. The traffic is better going that way. Leaving Boston, don't even because everyone's leaving for work. Going into Boston, more manageable, but not fun. But for me, I just kind of accept that like I'm just not going to be in Boston, even on the weekends, unless there's really a special event. You're not going to catch me just randomly going out to like the nightlife. Like that was what all I did when I first moved here. But like Boston, I don't know. Now that I just got so comfortable near where I'm at, I'm like okay. Now, kind of related back to like maybe not sports, but fitness. I know there was like different dance. So there are these classes. Like there's definitely a lot of dance classes that happen within Boston. I know there's like I have a friend who does a Kazomba thing in Providence, or at least that area in Rhode Island. But in actual Boston, there's like Kazomba classes. There's like salsa, bachata classes. There's definitely another big one. Oh yeah, the one that I was going to mention was Afrobeats dance. So there's like Afrobeats classes. And I'm like, oh, that's super cool because that's actually like more home to me, and it would be nice to formally learn certain Afrobeats. So I keep signing up for these events, and I keep not going. Like every time I'm going to go, it's like 2 p.m. on a Saturday. It's like that's not terrible, but think about it. You have to wake up, make sure you've eaten something, but not too soon before the dance class. Make sure you have water. Make sure you're dressed in something comfortable. Have like a bag or something, be packed, get there. And traffic is on Saturdays is unpredictable. Like I've come into Boston for events like in the afternoon like that. Sometimes traffic is good, sometimes it's not. So give yourself an hour maybe. And like 2 p.m., okay, it's not terrible, but it's like I just don't have the energy mentally or physically to get up and get to Boston by 2. Or if it's 12, forget that. Or 11 a.m., nah. So unless you have friends in mind.
Yeah, no, I have friends in Miami. I do. That was a good name, Russian bot Melanie Goodman. I was like, it was very believable.
Melanie Good. Oh, I actually didn't even catch the comment before you hit the block. I'm dead. So yeah, but I guess like besides fitness and dance, there were actual sport things. Like I know some friends who have played soccer. They probably just find places nearby. They go to parks and play. I've not been compelled to go. Probably should mention because I didn't really even answer my own question with sports.
Right, yeah.
I grew up playing soccer and golf to some degree, but yeah, actually I did. It was like a community thing. We played golf, not super competitive, but like it was cool because it was like this black coach, like an older guy. This was like an area of Maryland that was not very black at all, Salisbury. So it was kind of like I didn't think much of it at the time, but I was like, oh, there was representation. Okay, that's interesting. And I mean, okay, Tiger Woods is Tiger Woods, but besides that, you don't think about golf being like black. And then soccer. I mean, soccer is very international, so I never really thought much about that. Except it's just a sport that you play as a kid. Maybe you don't play as seriously when you get older. And I didn't play it in middle school, but then when I got to high school, we had like a gym class. I mean, you have to do gym, of course, every year, but we only had to do it for half a year, like a semester. 1 year in high school, my first year. So I did my soccer. It was fun. I did my gym class and we did a unit where we just did soccer. Not like anything crazy, but we played a little soccer and I was like, this reminds me when I played. And like some people, like people who were really good, like these were varsity players. Like one girl played varsity like all 4 years. One guy played varsity all 4 years. They were both in my class. We were all freshmen. And so they were like, yo, Toby, you're actually like pretty good. You should play for the team. But at that point, it was already too late because it was like well into the fall. So I talked to the coach and he was like, yeah, like definitely come on. He was the varsity coach. So I didn't jump into varsity, but like I played soccer sophomore, junior, senior year of high school. I played varsity my senior year, and I practiced with varsity a little bit my junior year, but like I didn't really play the games with them. But like I was like, okay, y'all are cool. Um, I always wanted to do like community soccer, like they do like I don't know if you call it like travel teams. There's travel, but like there was just general like in the community you could pay some amount of money and you're just playing. Like they have camp and stuff. And I thought that would be a good way to like practice. But I never got the opportunity to do it. I never got to do indoor soccer either because like constraints with home and trying to get rides and just like trying to like actually make it work. Because indoor soccer they do it late, so it's like in the evening. But I played soccer like in the regular season. Um, Lord knows how I pulled that off because my sophomore, junior, and senior year got like exponentially harder as the years went on, and I was like getting higher. It was like I was also playing in more serious levels, so I'm like doing senior varsity, 5 AP classes. I don't know what I was thinking, but I still have like a big soft spot for soccer, even though I don't play. But I played when I was in middle. My first year in college, I did intramural, so that's me. That's why my name is came out of left midfield. Like came out of left field. Like something came straight out of left field, but I was left midfielder or left defense. I actually probably did left defense more than I did left mid. But mid I thought like was more comfortable for me because like you're kind of supporting people. You either run back to help on defense or you run up to help the strikers. And like it's a lot of running. Like you the midfielder, you're just running back and forth, back and forth. So you have to have the stamina. But I had fine stamina. Like yeah, it gets tiring, but like if it was comfortable. Defense, you get a little bit more of a break depending on how well your offense is doing.
Mhm.
But like it's a lot more pressure because it's like, yeah, you're the last stop before the goalie. So lefty was kind of fun too, but you have to be really, really like on top of it. Not that you should be slacking on mid, but like I don't know. With mid, I feel like there's a lot more going on. Like you just kind of pass the ball where you need to pass it, score if you want. But so I don't know. It would be interesting to try to play again, but it would be so like it would take a lot of energy for me to get back into like my own personal sports. But we'll see. It's always been a thing that I told myself. Miter, actually, the company I work at, this used to be a running joke back before the pandemic. They would always have like a soccer field. Usually on Wednesdays, people would play during lunch hour and they would just get like a little pickup game. I don't know how people were able to change in time. During lunch, I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing in terms of actual getting work done. But I was like, okay, do whatever you want to do. So I always would post a picture like on my snap and be like, will I join the soccer field this Wednesday? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball T or something. Because I very notoriously just never get on the field. To this day I never did. But some days I would get closer and closer. I would be outside, I would be watching them. But I never actually like oh yeah, because I never bought cleats. I was supposed to buy cleats so that I could actually properly play.
Oh.
I did not. It looked to be a lot of money. I was like, I'm not about to buy $100. Like, what happened to high school when I could buy cleats for like 20 something or
Right. I guess
okay,
it was way less.
maybe 50 or something, 30 something, 40.
Right. Like, okay, so I'm not crazy. I always felt like sometimes like sports shoes could sometimes be like a little cheap. Not all of them. Like I understood like running shoes are like expensive as hell, but like yeah, I always felt like cleats were like kind of cheap. But, like everybody had like like their kids playing like in soccer, or in the soccer team.
Yeah.
So funny enough, I was actually looking at shoes today for rock climbing. Not like I'm like a rock climber, but I went rock climbing like one time last year in June. But I was just like curiously looking at how much rock climbing shoes cost because I spoke to a friend like I don't know, like he and I were just texting. And he said like, oh, I do like I went rock climbing the other day. It was great. I was like, oh my goodness, I've been wanting to do rock climbing again for a while. So he says like, oh, do you know how to belay? I was like, no, I do want to get belay certified. I always keep telling myself to go to the class like for like months now. I've been wanting to just go to the class just to at least be belay certified. So he and I decided to sign up for like this class next Monday. So your girl's gonna be belay certified, even though I'm sort of afraid of heights. But rock climbing is like a lot of fun. So I was just like looking at like how much rock climbing gear is, because either you can like at this particular rock climbing gym, it's like $30 for an all day pass without gear. You know, if you're like over over the age of 18, you could have gone to the league, Toby.
Thank you, Rocky, for the encouragement.
Yes.
God, all-American soccer.
You could have gone to the
Imagine.
league. So what was it? Yeah, so I was just like looking at, and then like if you have gear, then it's like I want to say it's $21 for the day. So I was like, let me see how much gear costs, just out of curiosity, to see how much I'd really be saving. And I looked at like the monthly membership of, like just this, like it's like $63 a month. I think like without gear, and then whatever the hell it is with gear. Yeah, like if you have your own gear rather than using like the rock climbing gym's gear, sort of so to speak. So I so I was like looking at just like how much like the gear costs, to see like, okay, if I were to go, to like this rock climbing gym like, 4 times a month, how much would I be saving when it comes to, money, and like if I were to get gear. But then I started to talk realistically to myself. I was like, oh, you're not going to be going 4 times a month. You're probably going to go maybe like once a month, at least to start out. Like, know yourself, girl. So I was like, yeah, you're right, Elle. I'm probably just going to go like maybe once a month after I get belay certified. And if I even start going more with my friend. And I have like, some friends who do rock climb, like probably like once or twice a month. I'm like in like this group chat. But anyway, so I look at the price of gear. I'm looking on Amazon, and the shit's expensive. Like rock climbing shoes were like damn near $100, and I'm like, I could have sworn that was not the price when I looked, like months ago, because like I occasionally just check to see. It's like I could have sworn it was like $50. Like maybe I was just out of my mind. Like maybe it was like something on sale. Maybe it was like, what the hell was I looking at? Like when the hell were they almost $100? And if you ever like wear the shoes, I'm like, there's no way in hell these are fucking $100 shoes. Like the rock climbing shoes feel like a high quality paper bag. Like, they don't feel good. Like they feel so bad. You have to put it on so tight. Well, because you have to sometimes use use your toes to like grip. So like the toe has to be like really tight and like not too thick, because you're gonna need to like grip.
I see.
Yeah, so I was like, are you serious? Like this shit's, I mean, I understand like they need to be well made, so like you're not damaging your toes and your feet, of course, but they don't feel like they should be worth $100 though. And like I don't want to, and like not like, so I'm like, all right, Al, you're not gonna buy gear. Like just pay the $30 for the day pass once a month if you decide to go, but at least you'll be belay certified. So, and also a cool thing about this particular gym is like, if you just go to just belay a friend, you don't even have to pay, because it's like you're not actually climbing the rocks. But if you're just going there just to belay your friend for the day, you could just do that, which I think is pretty cool. But that's actually a good idea, Ryan, to go to maybe like a swap shop or a flea market. East Bay sales? Do you mean eBay? Or is there something called East Bay? But no, it's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
Like secondhand things. I think that's actually overall to like, if you want to get into like some kind of sport, whether it's like even like ping pong, tennis, maybe like go to like a swap shop or a flea market. That's actually a fantastic. I was actually looking at tennis rackets the other day, because another new friend, he was saying how he plays tennis, and I was like, I actually do enjoy tennis. And like I have like tennis, we have tennis courts here at like in my complex in my neighborhood. And it's like, you have all like these really, like when you live in a neighborhood and you have all these cool amenities that you're fucking paying for because you have an HOA and you just don't even use them.
Mm.
Like, I would actually enjoy like playing tennis. And I looked at tennis rackets online on Amazon. I know this is gonna sound deja vu, but they were expensive too.
Mm.
And I was like, shit. Because prior to COVID, you could apparently like rent out equipment. Like I guess like use it for free, but because of COVID, you can't do that now, which I think is kind of weird. Like I understand, but it's like, I mean, it could barely be transferred and over like touch. Like that's been like debunked a long time ago.
All right.
Or like, yeah, it's been known a long time ago. Yeah, I'm afraid of heights, but as I always say on the stream, you got to do it scared. So, I'm just gonna try to get. I want to say get over it, but just accept it, or just go up halfway. That's fair too. You could just do that. No one said you have to go to the top.
Mm.
Nobody said.
True.
Kanye's already at the top. You don't need to be next to him.
And when you're talking about rock climbing, you're actually talking about like
indoor.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah.
Because I thought you were talking about indoor, because that one's the one that always struck me as like, I don't know how tall the walls are, but like some of the ones I've seen are like not super high. But I guess there's like definitely levels to this, right? Like there's like real rock climbing gyms. Like I've been to those like sort of like beyond the limits type of places where it's like indoors and you have like balance beam and like little obstacle courses.
Right.
So the rock wall was not like the main attraction. I mean, it was important, but I haven't been to like a purely indoor wall where it's like you're breaking your neck to look up there, because that's definitely different.
No, yeah, like that's the gym that I'm talking about. Like look all the way up and break your neck. Like it's like some real shit. Like there's even like a wall where it's like broken in two. So it's like there's like a piece on the ground, and then you have to like climb up and then stand over here, and then jump up and climb up onto like the top part, because it's literally two pieces. Like, and like I think it's the top one. It kind of swings, but that's like for like high, upper level, type of shit. Like I have zero interest probably in my entire life to ever try to scale that. It's just like I want to be on like the super easy level wall climbs. Like because like it does feel good to like kind of climb, and like it's like being in a video game almost, and like you're the main character, so you're like playing yourself. So there's bouldering, which is like you don't need a rope, and like the walls are like 9 feet tall, which doesn't sound too tall because like we're anywhere between like 5 feet to 6 feet. So you're like, what's 3 more feet? Like you could definitely, you've definitely like hopped a fence or like been stood on a fence and jumped down. That was probably like 3 feet or higher, and it was totally fine. Like it's true. So I did bouldering with my friends like back in June, and it was a lot of fun because like none of us had ropes, none of us really knew what we were doing, but you could just like start climbing after they gave you the tour and how everything works. They're not gonna just it's not like a fucking free-for-all.
Just like a wall, don't fall. Good luck. Sign this, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to sign a waiver and all that. But like yeah, so it was like it was fun, just like climbing and stuff like that. But like climbing down was a little scary, even though like they have like these like helper rocks that are like pretty much like handles. It's almost like a ladder almost. So like that kind of just helps you to get down, and like because like you can't really like look down or anything, you're just having to kind of feel. And then I just felt like I was close enough to the ground, and so I just jumped off, and then like I was in the air for like an uncomfortable amount of time. To the point that I could actually like that actually registered in my brain. I'm like, wait a second. Then I landed. I was like, holy shit. It was like forgot how many inches of padding they have. It's like a whole bunch. It's like a whole fuck ton of padding that they have, especially for like the bouldering because there's no rope. So it's like, you're more than likely to like hurt yourself. So they have like a fuck ton of padding. I've seen some guys like climb all the way to the top and then just hop off from the top, which it's not. I guess at the end of the day, like that crazy, but they were just like woohoo, and they just fell off, and they just loved it. I'm like, that's scary. I wish I was like that comfortable, but it's like, no, if I gotta climb down and be scared, because you're not, you don't have like a harness, you don't have like a rope or somebody belaying you. You're just like climbing down yourself. So like you're, like totally responsible for doing this to get your ass down. Okay, so East Bay is a brand / store. Okay, so check that out. But definitely like swap shops and like flea markets, and like that's actually a great idea if I ever want to like purchase the stuff, because I think everyone has gone through like a phase of like purchasing like a brand new thing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get into this hobby. I'm gonna purchase it brand new, and they should have just purchased it used or really listened to themselves. It's like, are you really gonna get into ping pong? Like, you don't have space for a ping pong table. What are you gonna do with ping pong paddles? Like, are you really gonna get into sewing? Where are you gonna put the sewing machine? And then it just ends up collecting dust.
Yeah, self-talk, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool though that you're able to like even just start to like push yourself to do something new like that.
Yeah, it's scary because like at least at the end of the day I could be certified. So even if it's like if I don't really want to climb, I could probably just like help belay somebody, because I'm also I want to like go out more and meet new people. That's what my therapist always keeps telling me to do. And I think like, so definitely like exercising, sports and things like that is like a great way to just meet people, meet like-minded people, or like in my case just meet very attractive people, because I don't really care if he's like-minded or not. I'm kidding. Of course.
After 4 weeks of talking about love and things, this is what we come out with.
No. Yeah, this is like, no, I only want him for his body.
Listen, I mean, no, I'm not actually. I mean, everyone can do what they want. I'm not actually really judging, but I mean, a lot of times when you do go out to these things, like, yeah, you notice people physically, but then you also get to connect just from like kind of like what you said about hobbies. It's like you go to someone's place, you have no idea what they're into. You're just in this like blank room. But like when you actually go to a place like this, which makes sense why like you were trying to create that app you were trying to create, because you want to meet people where they are, like where you want to meet people with the interests. You want to meet people in the kind of the environment where they're already doing what they enjoy doing, whether it's the rock climbing. There was actually a group called the Outdoors Group, or like the Outing Club or something, when I was in grad school. Basically, it was a club that was for people who wanted to go rock climbing, they wanted to go hiking, they wanted to do all these things. Because what else do you do in upstate New York except outdoors? So I never was involved, but like I knew people who were, and they had a really great time. It's a really good way to meet people, because it's a pretty active thing. Like, it's not hard to have a conversation when you're hiking or whatever. Yay! Sparks. Yes. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Just in time for your pre-birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, if you ever get the chance, definitely check out Mish Cosplay on Twitch, and you'll be able to see them streaming Mega Man and Metroid, and just watch them be totally awesome in their amazing outfits. Also, check them out on Instagram too. Shout out to Bill's Mafia from upstate New York. Yeah, sure. I know that. But yeah, no, definitely joining a sport too, like a city local sport. Because I know that we're like kind of sort of talking about sports, but like when it comes to even just like playing sports too, like you can, like join like an adult basketball team or, league and stuff like that. And yeah, because like, so I've been going to like my city's gym because it's cheap and it's in my city and it kind of has everything that you need. So I've been going there lately. It's like part of it's like in like a rec center, like where they have like basketball courts and all sorts of like stuff. And I also do like yoga classes and shit like that. So I've been seeing like, people like, like adults, like young adults, just like in like the basketball league. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that, you know, like I could just join like a sports team and, do that. And that's like a great way to like meet people. Also, also, yeah. I mean, what else do you need? It's near you. It's cheap, and it has all you need. I think that's a great recommendation. 4 out of 5 stars. I give it 5 out of 5. It has some great, like, it has some really nice like equipment, and like it feels very new and like high tech sometimes. It's like a mixture of like high tech shit and low tech shit. But should we do? Should we? All right, Toby needs to answer this. Has a treadmill and the lifty things 10 out of 10. Pretty much. That's actually highly accurate. The treadmills are like mad new too. It's almost kind of scary. Because like at LA Fitness, like the treadmills look like they're like 100 years old. But like at this little ass gym, they have like some new treadmills and like the Stairmaster seems like really new. It gets like really annoying because how like techy it is because as soon as you start like you're on the treadmill or even on the Stairmaster, like you're just kind of running. There's only like 3 people in the gym, and like they have like ceiling fans. It's already pretty cool, and you're like running, and then all of a sudden like the fan turns on. I was like, I'm not anywhere treadmill. Like I don't know why you're having like this harsh ass fan blowing in my face. That smells horrible. I did not turn you on, but it's like preset to just come on, and it's so aggravating. But yeah, I mean, they're trying. I understand that the treadmill and the Stairmaster are trying to help me because they're horrible. My Tinder profile. I'm cheap and I'm new. But yeah, no, definitely. Like sports can be a great opportunity to socialize, which helped me make friends and pay for my school. Oh, nice.
That's really good. Wait, so you probably mentioned, but what did you do in
Yeah,
school?
what sport did you play, Rocky? Oh, and Misha had an excellent question for
Yeah, I
you.
just thought that's definitely a no. Actually, I had like I was at a friend's place before, like I mentioned. I got some tea, some really like there's some allspice and some other good stuff. And they did have Douce. And so I did have like a little bit of Douce. It was like a shot, but not. I kind of sipped on it because I was like, this will clear out my system. But I'm not about to take like a whole entire shot because. Oh yeah, Mish. I'm not sure because I know you like popped in at the very beginning. Like you made a comment at the very, very early part of the stream, I think.
I didn't see it.
Oh, wait, never mind. That was in the Discord.
Oh,
That was in the Discord. But I have been coming down. And now I definitely know for 100% that I am. Just low-key had a little sneezing fit, but it's okay. So I'm going to have to like actually force myself to get some rest, take some NyQuil, get myself to sleep once I'm done here. Probably will drink a little whiskey just to like, that's always part of my concoction. Has been described as chaotic or cocktail like or whatever, but there's usually whiskey. There's apple cider vinegar. There's lots of tea, many different types. If I'm lucky, I have like actual lemon. I have medicine, but I usually try to like hold off for a little bit. Like I'm not like, I don't want to put any medicine in my body. Like I take medicine. It's just that if I can fight it off with like the herbs and whatever, I try to. But usually at some point I say y'all won and then I take my Dayquil and NyQuil. There's also this really, really beautiful, I'm actually bringing it up real quick. what's this thing called, like Gargle Away Throat Care. It's like I got it. I don't remember where I found it, but I found it like a year ago, maybe 2 years. And basically, it has like it's like this powder. Like it's pretty like.
It's not from 2 years ago, right?
No, I
Okay.
just bought
Okay.
this. This was literally.
That's gonna make you cough more.
I'm dead. No, no, no. I'm not doing that again. Where like, well, besides my melatonin, um, my melatonin gummies that expired like was it December 2020, but that's okay. We don't have to talk about that. So this, it has like I can't remember. I remember it has like apple cider vinegar, something dried, oregano probably, Mediterranean oregano. So it's like spicy. Himalayan salt, organic honey, licorice root, lemon, cayenne pepper. So like it has stuff that's supposed to help kill bacteria in your throat and just like clear out whatever. So I mean, it's not really medicine, but like this has always been like a great thing that I've used. Like it does not taste great. You have to gargle and like spit it out, but like it's definitely, I would say it's pretty effective. So you get your tea, you get your your honey, you get your with spare your whiskey, maybe a cognac or tequila, but I like whiskey the best out of them all. And then yeah. So I mean, will I drink a shot? Not like traditionally, but I'm gonna have some alcohol because it can help in some ways, like with your throat, but you have to do it in a way that makes sense. And taking a shot is not going to make a lot of sense for me right now. Oh God, caffeine.
Like full caffeine whiskey episode.
Sounds rank. Yeah, no, this thing is not good. Like it does not actually taste good, but it feels like, oh my God, this thing is really working in my system right now. It gets the job done.
There's like like a old Jamaican cure for like colds and sinus stuff, where you just like rub Ray and Nephew rum like on your face and like your nose and like your head, and like try to like put it up the nose a bit.
You said what rum?
Ray and Nephew. I actually have some. Let me see if I could.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This isn't something that I ever thought. Okay, interesting. Ray and Nephew. I did varsity fencing in high school.
Yeah. Wait, is this one from Jamaica? Because it's
Ray
saying guaranteed full strength.
Ray and Nephew rum, Jamaica. Yep. World's top selling, award winning. I know there's like some really popular.
So there's like the one that they sell in America, the Ray and Nephew, and it says
okay.
like in this white box, it usually says product of Jamaica.
Oh, I see.
But this one says guaranteed full strength, which is usually sold in Jamaica. So I'm wondering if this one's actually from Jamaica though.
What's the percent there?
Should be, it's overproof. Oh, it's 63%.
God. I was just talking to someone about how they tried some 70% whiskey earlier today, like literally before I came here. The guy was like, I did 70% whiskey. I was like, I've never had anything above. Like, I'm trying to think, I've had 100 proof, but I don't know if I've had 120 proof, like maybe 55%, but nothing 60 plus. Excuse me. Condos we lived in years ago had a great pool. Nice. That's how the pool was in my current place back when it was still open. Literally, like, I think beginning of the summer, because it opens on Memorial Day, it was being used a lot then. And you would hear a lot of kids. I would literally be working, and I'd be like, y'all are really, like, having fun here on a Monday. Or it would be, like, Saturday. What's the 96 supposed to be in?
96 proof? You can't really see the...
Okay, I was like, okay, 96 proof. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's under 100. But if you're about to say percent, that'd be God forbid.
I don't think I have anything over 100. My friend bought me like a Bacardi.
Oh, please look at Misha's comment.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry, let me see what this is.
No, you're good, but you have to see this.
No, the Bacardi Black is 40%. Let me see.
Also, Rocky, I didn't realize you were lax, bro. And you said you lived in Maryland for one point.
Disrespectful minutes ago.
But why is the rum gone? Freaking epic. I don't think I've ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean like by myself for myself, but like it was always my sisters that would watch it, and then I would be there. But yeah,
Actually, I've never watched Pirates of the Caribbean. I've never seen any of them.
do you recognize the quote at least?
No, I don't.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, it sucks.
Captain Jack. Yeah, it was just a funny moment that
Because
Johnny
it's a
Depp
wild
had,
drink that
Johnny
turns
Depp
us.
had said, like,
Man.
I guess she like, yeah, you if you see the movie, you'll get the context more. But like, after being drunk, and I don't remember the woman, Keira Knightley, I think was the actress's name. She was like acting all drunk with him, but in the morning she was not really drunk. She burned the freaking the rum on like the island they were marooned on, and he was like, "Why is the rum gone?" And like she was burning it so that it would be like a smoke signal for help. And then after she like goes off and is like, "It's the vile drink that turns men into scoundrels" and all this other stuff. Then he just like pauses and is like, "But why is the rum gone?" And it's like, no, it was extraordinary.
That's funny. That's
Now trying to
funny.
turn men into scoundrels. I'm done.
No, they already come as scoundrels.
No, plot twist. They're already scoundrels. When actually,
Yeah.
no, just kidding. I'm not gonna speak that into existence.
I
We're
mean,
not.
South Florida is so close to the Caribbean seas anyway, so.
Oh God. No, but I think Rocky, you said something about being in Frederick. I've actually never been to Frederick, and it's like a pretty like sizable town, but it's so out the way from where I live. Um, and Maryland is huge on lacrosse. I completely forgot to mention that during the stream. Yeah.
You sound like you need to pour some rum on your face, Toby.
Yes, I think on my face, especially down my throat, do a little gargle. I don't have rum. I don't really buy rum these days. I have like everything except no vodka either. Oh my god, that's like a college day thing. But yeah, I'll pull through. That's interesting though. Fencing. I've never seen I know there was a fencing club in my college. There's like a whole lot of things. I did wushu at one point. That's actually another fun one. Is like talking about martial arts.
Yeah.
There was like some black people even who were like some of the higher ups for some of the martial arts, like wushu, which is supposed to be like it's more of a sport. So wushu is classified as a sport versus like the other martial arts because it's more performance like, and there's like competitions. Not that other martial arts don't have competitions, but wushu is like all the other like there's like a showcase where all the martial arts did like their thing one semester, and like everyone was so like they're just doing it. You get like demos and demonstrations. Then wushu comes on. And there's like this pump, like this like exercise pumping music type stuff, like hype that type music, and I was like, oh wow, wushu is like they just like it's super high energy. It's like kung fu. It's like a modern take on kung fu. Like that was, I want to say, formed in the 50s or 60s, and like it's interesting. I did wushu for a semester. I cannot pretend to do the forms as I used to be able to know them, but technically that was a sport. And I did intramural soccer in college and breakdancing, but I never did like fencing. I would love to learn how to use a sword though, like learn how to do weapons training overall, nunchucks. Maybe. Yeah, nunchucks are overrated, but swords for sure. Learn how to block with like a shield. That's an aside, but I would love to be like weapons trained and like be in some kind of like indoor battlefield environment, completely safe, but where you get to just like wield all these things like you're in a freaking I don't know, like a freaking Fire Emblem game. You got your lance, you got your axe. Anyway, I've never been to Annapolis much, but Yeah, it's the capital. It's cool, I guess. I like National Harbor. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was actually, let me see if everything, yep. It was actually the same like ballet friend because I paid for his ticket or his lesson, and I was just like confirming some stuff. um, but yeah, I did take like a fencing class once in college because I was like just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I guess it was like the closest thing to like swords. So like I think it's called kendo with the sticks
Oh
with the
yeah,
two.
that was a big one. I forgot about kendo. Yeah,
Yeah,
they yell in. They like hit with the two-hand thing on the
yeah,
helmet, and you like turn around and everything. Like, ah, it's very interesting. Thank you, Chad.
yeah. That's always good. That's always good to know.
Bro, not World War Three.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, that's so crazy how that may actually become a thing, where we could actually we'll just be like having friends get drafted. Well, I don't think they're ever gonna do like that crazy random draft that they did for like Vietnam, but that's still like so fucking crazy if you think about it. Like that's some shit that like legitimately happened in this country.
Because like what happened at the World Wars, and even then, the World War was like something they joined in the later effort. So like that happened, and of course there was a big loss of life, but like there was a national pride, and it was like I don't know, it happened, and then it was over. But with Vietnam, that had to come out of nowhere. Like people are living their life, and then just there you go. Not even China, not even like USSR, not the countries we were actually really beefing with, but Vietnam. It's so random, and like for a reason that's so like basically like this is the Pentagon Papers, like everything that we know about it is like, oh, just kidding, this was a lie. Um, it's crazy, man. And then speaking of I mean this will have to come up in like a later section, but like the whole like black experience abroad, like with what you've been seeing with black people in Ukraine trying to leave and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's crazy. And like the black sort of immigrant slash diaspora story is one that's not been exactly told. Not that we're like experts on the whole thing, but
Right now.
it'll be interesting to tie it in because you don't often. I just heard on the radio like you don't think about black Slavic people or black like Polish or Romanians, but they're there. They've been
They
there.
there, yeah. No, for sure, for sure.
Black Africans went to the USSR and they've been there
Right.
since. And I'm like, yeah, you don't think about that,
Mm-hmm.
but they are there. And then of course you heard about black people in China because of like what happened with COVID, and a lot of them are being blamed. Africans in China. So it's just interesting that you have like a lot of like Africans who weren't really part of the West, quote unquote, the way you think of like Black British or Black French, or obviously African Americans
Caribbean, yeah.
in the Caribbean, but like you actually have a
Hell,
whole
they don't like. I even feel like even like part of the Black West. You don't even think about like South America.
Mm, yeah,
It has a very huge African population that just oftentimes just gets swept under the rug, unfortunately, or not
yeah.
spoken about it too much. Funny enough, like um, just this quick nugget, then we're gonna start wrapping up. The show Everybody Hates Chris is actually like super popular in Brazil
Mm.
for some reason. I guess because it was just showing like regular working class people, black people, and I guess it was just like really relatable for a lot of people in Brazil. So it's like really huge in Brazil. Um, so that's pretty interesting, and like it's like it just goes to show that a lot of black people can definitely relate to it. I wonder if women would be drafted with my never mind about the equality stuff. It's actually interesting. That's actually a good point. I mean, I guess so. Like if we were to actually have like a draft, if women would also be drafted. But I feel as though like
Yeah.
our country is still so fucking like old school overall that they'll be like, no, who will be here for the children? Like that's exactly what Fox News would be saying.
Mm.
Like mothers need to be home with their children. You know, the fathers need to go to war. It's like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
I wouldn't be surprised. And I've been seeing conversations like that pop up. Like I remember seeing some TikTok where it's like it was like two songs. One that's like I don't know if it was Cardi B, but it was like, I'm not your man, or like who do you think I am? I'm not gonna cook for you. I'm not your wife. Like I don't remember. Like it was like a TikTok where it's like the girl was like saying these lyrics. It was like I'm not doing your laundry. I'm not your mom. I'm not gonna cook. And then the next thing, it was another song. Um, I wish I could remember who it was by, but that one was like I'll cook, I'll clean. Basically, the woman was like doing all the things. When it was like when it turns out World War III is coming out, and then all of a sudden they're super, you know, now all of a sudden they're super in the home and everything. So there's of course a lot of snark. I mean, some of the women like themselves were making the jokes where it's like, I'm gonna cook for my husband who I've never cooked for in my life. Like I can't go to war because I need to cook for my husband who I've never cooked for in my life. I think that was an Instagram comment. Um, and then it was like, then he's like, that man is gonna be sick for a whole week. And then she was like, that's not. Yeah.
Chad is very kind.
Did you relax? Oh,
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't even see all the comments in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, but we really shouldn't need to get onto that level.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's just too surreal. Everything that's happening. The table for a while, but I got thrown down earlier in this year. Wait, are we talking about the draft now with the thing being on? Recant to your message about it was on the table for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It had to do with the draft.
Holy crap! That sounds actually somewhat familiar. That yeah, there was something that ended up being voted away. Oh, that's crazy.
I
I
mean,
mean, it's the same age, 18 to 25. I would be out of that range anyway, but good God.
jeez, that's such a young age to just be like, oh, well, you gotta go to war, you know, like even though you don't, that's so fucked up. It's like you don't have any say, but let's just do like this archaic method of, you know, like solving problems. Like the
Yeah.
more you think about like war, you just really like see just how like fucking pointless it is. Like sometimes I wish like shit can happen where like the leaders of these countries can just go play like a chess match and it's like best like 3 out of 5 or something, and then that ends. It's like, all right, well, I'm not going to take over. It's like, okay. Like because it's literally, it's literally like, is it Putin who wants to do this? It's not like everybody in Russia wants to do this. Like, um, because like I always hear like, oh, they're taking away like Russian stuff off the shelves. Like they're canceling, certain shows or whatever in Russia, or like, stopping certain things from being streamed, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I get that, but it's not. I feel like it's just like Putin. And of course, I was kind of joking about the whole like chess match way of solving things, but like it's like it's just so fucked up how these leaders are the ones who are forcing these people into, people who don't necessarily agree with this, into battle, and then like pretty much just having to like change their mind and be like, yeah, I guess I have to take over Ukraine right now. I have to, it's my job. I got to do my job. They probably have friends and family in Ukraine. They probably dated Ukrainians. It's like, like it's just so inhumane, and yet like they're, you know, are like forced to do this, like just forced to just hurt people just to take over a country because your country's going to shit. Like it's so fucked up.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's yeah, that would be so interesting. Like
a
just
lot of Russians are against this.
right. It's like because like I don't even know what the polling or the sentiment could have looked like in World War II, but like people, of course, would have to feel like okay, especially when Pearl Harbor happens, like we got attacked. But like with this, it's like okay, most Americans, overwhelmingly 78% or so, are against Putin's actions. But then it's like okay, how many of us want to actually step in there and fight? And like it would be interesting to see like a kind of mass rebellion where like Muhammad Ali was so radical, and of course MLK. Like all these people were so radical for speaking out against the war and not going for the draft, and they're like public enemies. But now it's like, yeah, no. Like I think
Hmm.
it would be much more mainstream to hear that kind of attitude.
That's
Um,
a good point. Where it was just like, oh, your public enemy is like, oh, they're not willing to fight for this country and blah blah blah. But I think like they didn't have like the internet and was able to like communicate with people all over the world and all that and learn so much. Um, it was just like it's just like, oh, this is just what we got to do. And then like now, like you really start to see how pointless a lot of this shit is. Where like these people are just hurting other hateful people because of like their religion. Like they're not harming anybody. They're just like, oh, like fuck them because that's just where you grew up in. Like I saw a tweet saying like like the only difference between you and a refugee is luck.
mm,
And it's true. It's like, okay, like I had the luck of being born in this country, not during a hostile takeover of, my area of the country. There was like the Cuban Missile Crisis. But but I don't think but yeah, like it really is just luck. Like we could have any one of us could have just been born in Syria or been born like in Palestine, Palestinian, and or just you know born in Ukraine at this time. Like
yeah,
any one of us could have just been born, and you just exist in this world, and then you just realize that the world is just run by like some ancient dudes who are just making shit up a lot as they go along, just as much as everybody else is. But like you're just getting dragged into this because you just happen to be born in this country, and no one's like really taught you to just be like, hey, if somebody has a different religion than you, that's fine. They're not wrong. Like somebody has, a different skin color than you, that's fine. They're not wrong, and you're not more right. Like
yeah,
yeah.
and that I mean these last few messages are too real. That's so I didn't even know about all the reports with like what they were being told because I really do wonder like okay I guess people maybe either feel like they're being patriotic for the country or it could be a kind of coercion type thing because I'm just like it's a lot like to like be okay with all of that like I know there's already been a history with like rebels Russian backed rebels who've separated from like the Crimea region so there's already like a lot where there's been conflict so for that it can seem natural but once you start advancing Kiev and the other country that there's a few other big ones. Then it's like, okay, is this something that we could be okay with? But like, if you're not being told the whole extent, then you have no idea what you're actually doing, and that's like really horrifying. Um, and Mish, yeah, spot on with that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tweet you, Mish. Well, tweet what you just said because that's spot on. Nobody chooses the spawn point, and it has a huge effect on your life. Like everybody who's ever played like Call of Duty, I know this is like a weird comparison, but everyone who's played Call of Duty or something like that, where like you die and and then you respawn somewhere. Everybody has a place where they just hate being respawned.
Mm,
It's like, oh fuck, no! Like there's always somebody waiting there just to, shoot me, and now I have to get respawned hopefully somewhere else where nobody's just lying in the shadows waiting to shoot me. But like that's, as dark as that may sound, it's sort of like realistic to where people live. Like I'm sure everybody is just hoping to be born somewhere or to just live somewhere where they're not going to just, die early for like some because of really stupid circumstances that could just be easily resolved by, a government that gives a fuck.
Mm.
Like a country and, like or still like a government that teaches people the correct form of history and doesn't try to like hide things, which is like really fucking odd. It's like a lot of, like if like wages and, like revenue and profit were distributed, you know, more profitably to everyone in the country, then everybody could just sort of live like a good life, a decent life.
Mm.
But it's just weird how um it's just hella pointless. It's just really pointless where like it's like they just made the entire planet like this game and everyone's just trying to play this game, but like we all know how this game's going to end.
Mm.
And like they could just change the game and then they just keep not doing that and keep convincing people that you need to stay in this game even though like most people honestly just want to make a decent living, have a car that works, be able to put food on the table, healthy food on the table, and, have enough money to provide for their children so they could live a better life. And, just hope that the world that they grow up in is going to be better and then their kids' lives are going to be better. But it's just like, no, let's just make everything go down to shit. Reason term spawn point for real life. Okay. He is part of the Young Turks, right, Hassan?
I'm not sure if I've heard the name. Oh wait, no, I have. That's the person who got like blocked or like removed from Twitch, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I think a lot of more people have noticed a big absence of bots since Twitter shut off Russia. Huh. I didn't even know Twitter shut off Russia. That's interesting because I know that one of the biggest exports of Russia is propaganda. So,
Yeah, they do pretty hard on that.
yeah, it's like so bad, but they've been mastering propaganda since like the like ever, like even like in like the 80s and shit. Like it's bad. And like with the internet, like they're able to like spread it even more. But yeah, and it's like of course it's like not all Russians. Like it's never not all anyone or everything.
Mm.
So like also just sucks for just regular ass Russians who just enjoy Twitter. For like to share like their Wordle score and talk about like I don't know sports or just the goings on. But now they got shut off, and it's like it's definitely like shitty for them. Um, just like the normal people or like the regular everyday people. But that is also kind of interesting that there's been a big absence of bots. That's very interesting. Maybe that's why I only got one Russian bot this stream.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that Twitter had shut down Russia until I just saw that comment. But I know that it's like a big thing with like information, disinformation campaigns. So that's weird that well, I guess they didn't want the citizens speaking out about certain things, right? So that's so.
And I do agree they do need to shut down Tucker Carlson because like he was like on Russia's side at first, and they have fucking clips of it.
Oh,
and then, like, he was like, I don't know why people assume that I was on Russia's side. It's like I don't know, you And if it quacks, smells, and talks and walks like a duck, it's like you were acting very duckish. Now you're trying to duck out of that. But
But
hooray!
hey, you're in the big leagues.
Yes, I remember my first bots. I'm kidding, but it said Valabloom.
It said I'm dead. Some unintelligible language.
It's like vroom, wah. They were, they were always on the car, no brakes. Yeah, I feel like he's just been in charge for like ever, and that's always problematic. Like him and like the Kim Jong family, because it was like Kim Jong Il, then Kim Jong Un, Tucker Carlson. He's always trying to duck out of shit, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like when you start making that amount of money that he makes, it's like you might as well just start telling the truth, or you should just like go off topic and just talk about whatever the fuck at that point. Because I think people are just coming to you for just company. Like,
Just be fully independent. Say what you need to say. That's not
right.
going to be false
But
or like
it's
part
like,
of some other agenda.
but it is like hella dangerous, like the information that they're spreading. And I'm not saying that like MSNBC and CNN are just off the hook, because I don't like. I just wish like we could just like talk about Fox News without having to be like, it's like, oh well, I have to be like empathetic of the people who are like, well, what about CNN and MSNBC? It's like, yeah, I know, like they all kind of suck too. I feel like CNN is. I mean, I haven't watched CNN in a long ass time, to be quite honest. But MSNBC is, I feel, is just terrible. Um, I've never really, really, really watched Fox News. Admittedly, I did watch Fox News for Meghan and Harry's wedding, just to see if there was going to be some like racist shit that they'll say. But they didn't. I was like, like
When
some bullshit.
were they critical though, like in some way?
I don't think so.
It was like an actual just stream of it. It wasn't like their commentary about.
Well,
Like,
there was commentary, but there wasn't like, I can't recall anything that was like, cringy.
okay, that's interesting.
I agree. I agree. No, Tucker is way more to even. I agree.
I don't really follow everything he's been saying. It's just like a lot of things that I don't know. I would see like, is this really the take we're going with? Like, yeah, there's a lot going on with Tucker. Elon wants to make. Oh,
Isn't that fucked up though? Like,
okay, I hadn't even heard that.
like his legacy hasn't already been like boosted as all fuck. Like,
He's been there forever. He's the sort of man who like. I mean, yeah, of course, there's the opposition, there were protests, but there was a point where I think he like kind of had this like, I mean, he loves his country in some way. So like people at some point are going to see him as like, oh, he's the guy who can bring us out of the dark place we were in. Our country was fractured, XYZ. So it's like he could have still been that strong leader, quote unquote, without like needing to like annex countries and occupy countries.
I always hate like that whole like strong leader myth, where it's like you need somebody who can like go toe to toe with someone who can like physically fight somebody. It's like they're not out here physically fighting anybody. So it's like, why the hell do you need like a strong leader? It's like, it's like, oh, they have like a strong leader, therefore that's why like people were like, oh, I'm voting for Trump because he's strong, like no one's gonna take any shit from him, blah blah blah. And it's like, but I remember seeing some tweet saying like, it's like, yo, like Trump is in his 70s as well, just like Biden, and y'all are acting like Trump is gonna go like physically fight like fucking Putin. So that's not gonna fucking happen. I mean, I feel like that would be a better way, instead of sending out like our actual people, just send out the leaders. It's like, would you be voting for Trump then? No. So you would vote for like a young, like you'll vote for like The Rock.
True.
Oh, thanks, Mish. You get all your news from us.
Hey.
Keep you up to date with everyone, with everything.
The melanated channel or content.
He got a superpower and he was going to pass her petro state. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what a rogue petro state is. But like from.
One American news at one point used to be like especially with the whole like election fraud claims and stuff. There was a point where like One American News actually was like gonna like it looked like it was like gonna really peak and be like, okay, Fox News is almost irrelevant because even they were like, I mean, especially like some Laura Ingraham, some of the others who were very good at outrage. They were like, no, this needs to like even Laura was like all these caveats. She was like, to say this does not mean 5 different things. But I think it's time to put this election fraud thing to rest. But nope, One American Network, Newsmax, they like went full steam ahead with it.
Right, Newsmax.
So even now they have backed out. I think now it's to the point where they don't put on like My Pillow. Like My Pillow guy and people like him are sort of like the most way out there when it comes to these things. But even like some of the lawyers who are involved with that, they don't really be talking about all this anymore. Like it's just kind of funny to see how much backtracking there's been from some people. I think One American News Network doesn't really claim a lot of the fraud anymore. I mean, when you have like these lawsuits, like 1 point something billion, like 1.3 billion, however much Dominion was suing people, it's like, okay.
Right, yeah.
You kind of have to really be careful what you say because it can backfire. You need the world more than the world needs them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Germany really, really was like, they had a very kind of like precarious, what's the word? Like, yeah, a tightrope type act that they had to do with that pipeline. But even they were like, screw it. They went ahead with the sanctions and everything. I didn't realize, but apparently Germany, I think it was Germany, or there was some country that was like, they had said they were going to send like 1,000 helmets or something to Ukraine, and they were like blasted for it. That probably was Germany. 1,000 helmets. Ukraine asked Germany for something. Army. Germany offered to send 5,000 helmets to Ukraine to defend itself, but yeah, that was kind of like seen as a joke. Someone else said, "What else are they gonna do? Send pillow blankets or something, or like bed sheets?" Because it just they were trying to like show some kind of neutrality without like angering Russia. But then now at this point, it's like now everyone's kind of united. Like,
oh, so you're saying Germany was trying to send them to Russia?
Germany was gonna send 5,000 helmets to Ukraine, but they were like blasted for that because it's like this is like a meaningless thing. Like with what Ukraine was facing against Russia, 5,000 helmets was not like a serious. So I think like the mayor of Kyiv like blasted them like, is this a joke? And then a bunch of other countries also, like there were literal jokes being made like at Germany's expense.
I do like how like the mayor was like a former like actor and comedian or something. It was either the mayor or the president.
Or the president was the one who was an actor and comedian. But I think funny enough, I think the mayor was some kind of like, I don't know if he was a celebrity, but he was something. Wrote Poland's prime minister.
You gotta be realistic. You can't just like helmets. I guess, yeah. Like if shit falls on your head, but like, no, you definitely need some firearms.
Yeah. But it's all tricky. Yeah, it's like what it was. I think it was the minister. Was it defense minister or it was the mayor of Kyiv? Was like, what will they send next? Pillow. What kind of support will Germany send next? Pillows. It's actually funny. It's been really funny to see some like people have just kind of gone off and like been completely like uncavalier. Like there was the whole "go f yourself" thing that the Ukrainians said. The island that was being the Russians, I guess, came and were like, drop your weapons, no one will get hurt. And then like while they were still like in the channel, like the radio channel or whatever with Russia, they like basically turned to each other and said, should we tell them to go F themselves? He's like, yeah, I think they should. And then he's like, kindly go yourself. Which I guess was like a big like symbolic thing. And they were confirmed to still be alive recently, which is good because they were feared dead that the Ukrainian sailors were killed after that. But I think a big thing too was like it was maybe the defense minister of Ukraine was like if Putin wants, because I think they were talking about nuclear weapons, which nobody wants to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It was like if Putin really wants to kill himself, he could do what the guy in 1945 did in Germany, and I was like, dang, like no chill. I mean, I already saw jokes on Reddit. Like a lot of I'm not even in that sub, but I keep getting notifications of jokes, and a lot of them end up being like Russian Ukrainian things. Like one thing was like a lawyer, a comedian, and a war hero walk into a bar. The bartender asks, "Mr. Zelensky, what can I get you?" And I was like, I see what y'all did there. So there's a lot of pro Zelensky, very much anti-Putin type of jokes there. Like the one about like what's the difference between Putin and Hitler? Is like at least Hitler knew when to kill himself. Like clearly the sentiment has been floating around a while. It's just funny that an actual like cabinet member of Ukraine made like the same kind of like pass. Anyways, and some my pillows. I'm dead. Give me a Glock. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, snap. Haha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Toby.
They finally come. Oh, wait, keep that banner up for 1 second.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
No shit.
Yay.
Such a random time, but yeah, no trip, no fun trip to Colorado or
I mean, mine wasn't on my birthday. It was like weeks after.
Okay, it was weeks after. Fair.
Yeah. But like, I'd say this year, I don't know where I want to go, but I definitely want to probably go somewhere on my birthday because it's like kind of annoying to. I mean, I had a fun birthday. Let me stop lying. I had a really fun birthday, but whatever. It's your birthday, so like.
No worries. I don't mind hearing about yours too. Like, it's here. It is what it is. It's just like Wednesday is like such a weird day because it's like.
True. Yeah, you could have taken off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In fact, last year my mom's birthday was on a Wednesday, and she was like trying to figure out what to do. So my brother suggested just take off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you can, but you say you want to save your PTO days. I get that.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to LA for a conference end of the month.
Okay.
Or Anaheim, but same area. That would be cool. So I would already be taking off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or maybe Thursday, Friday, because the conference starts Wednesday. So I could probably manage a late flight I could manage a late flight. Yeah. Or even if it's small. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I could take off. I mean, especially because like I feel myself coming down with something. So depending on if I like wake up and I feel like trash, I might even make a post. I mean, it's late now, so I might be like, "Why are you posting at like 12 a.m.?" But
people post at 12, whatever.
we have like a Teams chat though. It's like
Oh,
that's
that's what you're talking about. That's what.
work. I'm talking about work. Yeah, no, like whatever social medias. But
Oh
like,
yeah, some of them would hate you because some of them don't have like their notifications and their noises turned off. So they'll be like, "Yo, what the hell? What's going on?" It's just
oh
Toby like, "So for my birthday, that's right now. I was thinking."
no, no, I wouldn't mention my birthday. Like if I was gonna take off, well, I could do it silently where I just mark myself out of office. Um, though it would be no notification. But the more important thing is like, hey, I actually feeling a little something, so maybe I'm just gonna not come in. Or physically, we don't have to come in. We all work in different locations anyway, but I might just be like, I just need a rest. But the thing I hate about that too is that like we don't have separate sick time, PTO, and like
Good night, Chad.
yeah, have a good night.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks for hanging
appreciate
out.
it.
Thanks for coming through.
um, yes. Um, yeah, sick leave is separate from like our actual PTO. Because some companies you have the paid leave, you have your sick leave, and then you have like you have vacation days, you have sick leave, and you have like some other time to time maybe. Um, but for us, it's all one bank. So if you're sick, you have to pull over your vacation hours. You only accrue like 6.5 vacation hours every 2 weeks. So you can imagine how long it takes to build up. And then if you get sick, it's just boom, gone like that. So it's really annoying actually. When
Yep.
you are sick. That's why when I had COVID in January, I was like, yes, because the COVID was documented medical leave. And I was like, finally. Like, I didn't want to be sick, but I'm like, if I am going to be sick, I'm at least glad that it's COVID because I actually have, support for it.
Right. Yeah.
Without having to burn through my vacation hours, or there's a point where you don't even have vacation hours. And then you have to like go negative. But then if you burn through that, then you're just like, or SOL. You can technically probably charge like certain time that you can make up later, like borrowed time, but it's just annoying. So that's the really reason why I didn't want to take off days because I was like, if I end up getting sick, I might have to use that. It's just all a hot mess to be honest. But like, at least we get some because some companies don't even really give you like serious vacation time or sick time. You just have to like take unpaid. Um, Especially for like certain hourly companies, it's like okay, you're sick, you can take off like Amazon, but then you're probably not getting paid for that. And then at some point, they might be like, okay, time to come back to work. Got to keep the prime going and deliveries. So my company is definitely like it has good benefits, but it just sucks that like when it comes to vacation stuff, I feel like I'm always like you're always accruing, then you lose it in cases like this if you're sick. What time do you have? Like I've never really had time where I could just take off quote unquote vacation. Like I've had enough to take off maybe a day here and there if I needed to take off a day. Like I took off a day around Labor Day weekend. I think it was the week before I had like a pool party, so I took off a half day for my pool party on a Friday.
Okay.
And that was fine. But for the most part, it's very hard to take off real time.
That's one of the things I like about having like limited pay time off. 'Cause it's even though like it's like psychologically you end up taking like less days or something. I always make sure I take enough days because it's like you need it. Like you need time off. You need like even because I know you go into the office sometimes. Like I work from home, so it doesn't really feel like you're at work, but there's really times when you really just need to have the laptop closed the whole time and just really, you know, just totally disengage from that, like it's really important. Like I scheduled to take like the end of like the last week of this month off because I'm gonna be going out of town for a bit. But I was also thinking like, well, instead of just taking like the 1 or 2 days off that I would be out of town for, and then coming right back to work. So let me just take the whole week and then either go on some kind of vacation or just be at home and do a staycation. I'm still just gonna figure that out, but I'm just so tired of like either taking time off for somebody or taking time off for like a doctor's appointment or taking it's like no, sometimes you just need to take time off for yourself.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
I've been
that
like
was.
super real quick, sorry, like I've been like super quick, like strict about myself because I'm like I'm planning on like having this photo shoot like mid-May now, and it's like, oh, I don't want to like do anything and mess up my my diet or whatever. It's like he's like, you know what, Al, you got to chill the fuck out and just like you can still go on vacation and like not drink a whole bunch and still have a great time, like so yeah.
Yeah. Actually, because I realized I was going to say something, but to answer, well, I was going to ask Rocky if you could guess how old I might be. Though with the recent haircut and shave, I've been getting a lot younger estimates. Like people are like, oh, you look so much younger, whatever. It was like, well, now I think my hair is growing back a bit where it's not quite as drastic, but like there was a point where people were like, oh my gosh, you look so boyish. But when I used to have like a lot more hair everywhere, people would easily say, I don't want to give too much of a hint, but people would say that people could easily think that I was older than I was. Um, Probably about 5 years older. I don't know about 10, but 24. Oh, okay. You actually guessed younger. Because normally, like when I had a lot of hair, people would think I would be like in my 30s. Um, Especially like when people had known I was in grad school and I was working full time. It's like, okay, you're probably late 20s or 30s. But nope, I am now 27. God, so weird. Well, 26 was a very odd year. Like 20, everything between 20 and 25 made sense to some degree. Like 20, okay, you're double digits or your 20s. Your 21 is obviously 21, so that's big. 22 I feel like was big because that's usually like your last year of college. Well, I was 21 because I was pretty young, but 22 is kind of like okay, you're feeling 22. 23 is a little odd, but that's like the Jordan year, so you can go with it. 24 is Kobe year, and 25 is like that quarter centennial, as my sister said. Quarter life crisis, if you want to be a little more self-deprecating with it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then 26 was just like, what is this? Like I turned 26 last year. I was like, this is a very strange year. Um, and now all these years don't like. I mean, 27, like seven's a nice number. It's a nice
Yeah.
lucky number. It feels good. Um, So 27's cool. I guess 28 is all right. 29 is another really weird one. I guess it's
Yeah, oh yeah, 29 is probably like the worst because at least in my case, all I could think about was just a countdown to 30.
uh,
Like I feel like, well, like also it's like we're in the middle of the pandemic, so it's like I couldn't even like really enjoy like my 29th,
mm,
and like my mom was living with me and all that, so it was just like hard.
mm,
But it was just like, oh, I remember for whatever reason, I think it was probably like around, like after midnight or something or what have you. I was like, holy shit, I have exactly 90 days until I turn 30. And for whatever reason, I just broke down crying.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then, like, when you turn 30, you just doesn't even like feel like anything. It just actually feels kind of good. So far, I've been enjoying 30.
Yeah, a lot of people have liked their dirty 30 or whatever. Yeah, but I saw this mission. I was like,
Yeah,
you know
I don't think so.
what he said? It's true.
27 is a perfect cube.
Well, it's a cube. Is perfect cube mean something different than like a cube?
I feel like a per.
Because it's three cubed, right?
Oh, right. That's
Three
true. That is
times.
true. That is true. Three
Oh
times three
god,
times three.
60.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, just
that's
count down to
true.
64. I can't wait till I'm 64. I'll be a year before I'm a senior, but most importantly, perfect cube.
Yeah, so it goes eight. Oh, it goes one, then eight, and then 27, then 64. Okay, that's true. Okay, I get it now. All
Can
right,
you put the
27.
27 as a actually no, actually I can do it from here. Because this will give
I believe 27 was the age that Biggie Smalls died, and a lot of celebrities died at 27, like
oh wow.
Amy Winehouse,
Oh shoot.
what's it? Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, not to scare you. There it is. Yeah, I mean, that's what
Nice.
everybody says. Like, it's like sort of scary to turn 30, but then like when you're actually like 30 and in your 30s, it just seems like I don't know, like it's just like fun because you're like you're not worrying about as much things. Like you're kind of like in a you should be like in like a decent place in your life, whether it's like physically, mentally, emotionally, or you're gonna like really just be like sort of like focusing on yourself and trying to get to like a good place. At least that's what I've been doing. But yeah. Alrighty, I think we're gonna be wrapping this up so we can get a good night's rest and then
Yeah.
fully enjoy his birthday tomorrow and also, get better.
Yep.
So,
Take that
he
night
definitely
well
needs to sleep.
and
But it is
rest.
like 12:15 here on the East Coast
Yep.
AM. That's why we said happy birthday, Toby, because it is his birthday now.
Yes, indeed. I was in way better health than that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely in better health, I'd say, now, just from working out and shit like that. Also, like you could just take care of yourself a lot better. Because like when you're 20, it's like you're still kind of like reliant on people, whether it's like your family or what have
Mm.
you. So it's like nice to just be like totally self-reliant.
I
Well,
was like, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say like, well, with that nose blow,
Oh
we
yeah,
got
God health.
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to me.
Thank you again, Rocky. I was about to say, Mish, I need an ace check again because I never remember how old you are, but I always thought you were just like, because I guess the thing is you did graduate before I did. Like, you were graduated and working before me, but it's actually kind of mind blowing if what you just said. Because I thought you were trolling at first, like, oh, haha, 30. You're not 30. But I was like, wait, oh, shoot. Mish probably is over that. And now that's like messing with my psyche.
But on that note, let us. Uh, yes,
Gotcha.
definitely. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Um, as always, come back next week. We're still going to be talking about sports. Ron should be here where he can actually talk about it. And yeah, definitely come back next week. You'll see the same trio, same time, same channel, and you never know, we may have a special guest.
You never know.
Good night, everybody. Happy birthday again, Toby. Please get some rest so
Yes.
you could, recharge and feel a lot better. All right.
Indeed.
Love you guys. Good night.
Good night, friends. Much love, much appreciation.
Yes. Bye.
Looking good, Mish, by the way.
Yes, as always.